Press start.
All right, well, let's start this episode 92. People, we have a full house. My name's Tim. I'm here with Jeff. Hello, Jeff.
Everywhere you look.
Shut up,
Yes,
Jeff.
sir.
Nope, I'm
And
out.
I'm here with Kyle. Hello, sir.
Hello. Star
Hi,
Wars quote.
Kyle.
And Daniel, who, of
It's
course,
a
carries
story.
the show with the best background.
up.
Oh, lovely
Daniel.
lady.
And Derek is here. Derek, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, it's nice.
I
to
missed
meet
you so much. It hurts.
Derek is,
Oh,
of
that
course,
was-
sporting the Halo background because Halo comes out this week. The campaign of Infinite comes out this week, and I am so excited for that.
He's
I can't
It's the
wearing
wait.
only reason
PlayStation
why I'm on.
headphones.
It's the only reason why I'm on the show. I
Yeah,
don't even
that's-
care about you guys. It's
Back
all
in
about-
Halo.
I'm
He's
gonna
back,
get you to
dump,
switch
he's got to
headphones,
dump the hype somewhere, and it's just on our hearts. So here
he's
we go.
back in Halo. All right, well, we've got a few different pieces of news to cover. We've got several different games that we're playing. Before we do any of that boring nonsense, I want to talk about the Game Awards, which airs this Thursday. I've whined plenty of times on the show and to you guys on the side about their timing of the show, but you know what?
I
It's
agree.
happening, and I think Kyle's usually the one who does this, and it's really good for my soul, where I'm like, this shouldn't happen this way. This is dumb, and he's like, I'm just glad it's happening, and I'm like, ugh, you're right, but don't be so positive.
Hey, they're both valid
you know,
points.
Stop being
They're
so
both valid.
obnoxious. That's
They're
what
both
y'all should say to me more.
I actually. His positivity. He has
I do
positive
too.
energy. Jeff, quit shaking your head. Shut up, Jeff. Shut
I
up.
can't just say suck
you
him
did-
off like it's no big deal.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I actually feel properly sucked off right now. So
Wait, I think Kyle didn't even get to hear the end of that compliment.
No, he didn't.
it's okay.
But isn't he sucking him off though? Because I'm positive too, and this guy was always badgering. I'm like chaotic
You are
neutral.
not that.
I'm
You're
chaotic
not that.
neutral.
I
Or no,
agree
I'm
with the chaotic neutral. I agree with that, but
Yeah.
Kyle brings a level of positivity about even topics he does not like. He's like, hey, that sounds cool. That sounds great. Where most of us, we can try that, but we're not as naturally good at it.
I
So
just
Kyle
think
is
I
so
used to
love.
be like Kyle, because I remember when Kyle and I first connected in like Beyond and all that stuff. It was because we were probably one of the few. We weren't the only ones. One of the few that was like always hyped for games and always positive.
yeah, I
Because
totally
you're
remember that,
always
yeah.
you're always surrounded by negative people. Now, obviously, as I've gamed less and just gotten older and more bitter, I have turned away from my light side ways, and
You've
I've gone
embraced
more-
your crank flark that's deep within you.
yes.
Crank Flark.
But I still have I still
Flark
get
roll call.
excited about games. You know, even though I don't game as much, I still try to find the positive in most things, except whatever Jeff's got in that background, that solar ash. That's a no. That's a
Dude,
no.
that's good.
That's a hard no.
It's a good
You're
game.
Don't
I
even
liked it,
talk
whatever.
about it.
I mean, you put the subtitle of indie in there, Jeff, and it's just you can't win with him. I mean, it's just
No.
not gonna.
No, I think anything that's published by Annapurna Interactive, Derek will break the screen, whatever it is he's watching it on. Like, nope, Annapurna, get out.
There's that cat game coming out.
just
I don't think you can be
sounds-
mad at a cat game.
Yay, right there.
Yeah.
Annapurna.
Annapurna.
Is that like a
Hey man,
perfume or
Annapurna's a
something?
freaking mountain. I bet you couldn't climb it.
Bro, that sounds like
There
a
we go.
perfume.
We got
I bet you
like
can't
geo-
climb it, bro.
we
That's
got
the
geological with
trash
that
talk.
one.
Can't
It
climb
is.
that
I can
mountain.
actually speak to it now. It's kind of crazy.
You're too out of shape to climb that mountain, bro.
You couldn't do that.
Unless it was
Nice
a
try.
dude, named
Nice
Keith.
Well, before we get to talking
Worst
about
of song.
Solar Ash or our hype for Halo, and I want to do both of those things, I do want to talk about the Game Awards and make our predictions so far. And I know, Derek, you weren't here to make your nominee predictions, but we can reset the points just for our winner predictions too. But for the nominee predictions, we already covered this, but just as a recap, in case you missed it, Jeff currently has 30 points, so he had 30 correct nominee guesses. Kyle had 28, I had 27, Dan had 23. Derek was perfect, 100%. Got all predictions correct.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't there, but he texted me later and was like, I predicted all of these. And I was
Yes, zero.
Oh, okay. Well, I
That's-
guess we count. I guess we count it then.
like, I guess we count that. Yeah.
That's how that works.
So, but we actually do have the nominees
Tim's
now.
lying. I just took a picture of my PC and said hashtag PC Master Race
That
with
is
the
what
bro
it
I
with
was
the
gonna
bro
say like a
emoji.
picture of your crotch or something, like no pants.
Hey guys, I am wearing pants tonight.
Some
so-
kind of stop sign at some point.
Yeah.
Full
Yes.
stop.
Full stop. Full stop.
All right.
So we are going to make our predictions based on the nominees that are now out of each category. And I figured let's include the categories that none of us care about just for fun, because that's silly. And if you don't want to make a real pick, that's fine, because I'll take those
I
points.
mean,
if I can
Tim,
guess.
I think Jeff and I were very serious about our
You guys
picks.
we're very serious.
Very serious.
But I kind of don't care about I can't care about the esports ones. I just want to read you guys. So we're not going to actually guess those. We'll guess all the ones above esports. So we'll start at most anticipated and work our way up. So like content creator, we'll guess at that. But for the esports stuff, I have to read you Jeff and Dan's entries, even though we're not going to officially guess these. So Jeff's entries and his 5 in a row of best esports game, athlete, team, coach, and event. I cannot believe those are actual awards. Like I get the general one, esports team, but the fact that you're voting for a coach, what is this? So Jeff, his picks in order are who, and then he picked the. His third pick was hell. Fourth was even, and his last one was cares. So I'll let you
collectively,
guys, yeah, who the hell cares is his pick. Good luck with that, Jeff.
For all 5 of those, yeah.
I'm shooting for cares.
And
I
Dan,
hope that cares wins.
For best esports game, Daniel picked Dota 2. For best esports athlete, he picked no one. For best esports team, he picked your mother's butt. For best esports coach, Ron Swanson. And if he doesn't win, then it's rigged, completely rigged. And his best esports event was one way ticket to Pound Town.
One way ticket to Pound Town.
Yep.
Best esports.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I don't want to make.
I feel really good about
We're all grown men. That's what that is.
We are adults. All right, guys. What is your?
I feel really good about this.
For most anticipated game. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring up the actual nominees. Give me 1 second. Where'd they go? There they are.
Speaking of one-way ticket to Pound Town, that's what Derek was trying to do with Kyle just a second ago. Just give him a one-way ticket to Pound Town.
Amen.
Hey,
that compliment's going to take me through the rest of the week so everyone can screw off. So.
All right, so most anticipated game. The nominees are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, and Starfield. Keep in mind, this is not your most anticipated game. You're making a prediction on what the Game Awards selection will be for this.
This is super hard, I think.
Yeah. So we'll just go in alphabetical order here. So Dan, what is your pick for that?
For game of the year?
No, this is for most anticipated game.
Oh.
Way to listen, you dumb shit.
Well, I mean, dude, don't even fucking start with me, I swear to God. Everything's been smooth sailing.
The real current gen episode, right?
Everything's
now.
been smooth sailing, and then you show up with your face and your stuff. So I did Breath of the Wild 2.
All right, and Derek, which of those do you think is gonna win?
Breath of the Wild 2 was not an option, bro.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna go with.
Actually, it was.
It was, but
it really does.
Yeah, that's probably my choice too. So.
I'm gonna go with God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
That is correct.
Jeff, that's your pick.
Yep.
All right, Kyle, what do you think?
I'm going Zelda as well.
Okay, I think, and I know it's probably because of recency bias. I'm gonna say they're gonna pick Elden Ring. I think
we got a great.
It is a Keeley show, so that's a good guess, actually.
I mean, yeah.
Actually, since it's a Keeley show, it should be just Kojima, whatever he's
doing
next. If they don't kiss this year, I'm right.
Kojima's next week is our most anticipated game.
Keeley and Kojima better kiss on stage, or I'm quitting.
I know it's a bigger romance than Ross and Rachel. It's like just get them together already.
I hope they kind of slip a little tongue too. I'm pretty.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Best debut indie game. The nominees were Kena Bridge of Spirits, Sable, The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, and Valheim. And my prediction is Valheim. Kyle, what do you think?
I think it's going to be Valheim as well.
Yes. God, I hope so.
And Jeff?
Yeah, I went with Valheim.
Derek, what do you think? Kena, Sable, Artful Escape, Forgotten City, Valheim.
What was the category? Because I'm trying to follow your spreadsheet.
This is best debut indie.
Oh,
so it's under, if you're looking at the spreadsheet, it's under winner predictions tab at the very bottom. You'll see winner predict.
Oh, I was in nominees. Okay.
Yeah, either of those will work.
Just want to point out my maturity for not saying the same thing that Derek just said to me a second ago about paying attention.
You just did it, so you're immature.
Nope. So just pointing it out.
Best debut indie. Okay, I'm just gonna go Valheim, even though I absolutely hate that name word.
Fair.
hate that name word.
All right, let's go with content creator of the year. Dan, who's your pick?
I mean, us, obviously.
Obviously.
We're the best. We're just the
I
number
hope that
one.
we win. We do have a write-in campaign, listeners, so make sure that you
Nice.
Yeah, we're
you
we're
do
the
that.
best.
Yeah. Do I actually have the nominees for this somewhere? I can't find them.
I have them in front of me, but these are all gibberish to me, so I have no idea who these people are.
I don't. They're. You know what? I'm gonna say. Wasn't there one girl? I'm gonna say the girl.
The cute girl is like who? What was that, Jeff? Yeah, that's.
Oh man, I don't.
Good
I'm
guess.
Yeah,
gonna such
I
a
put the
guess.
cute girl. Yeah.
It's a good guess. That's a good
I'm
guess.
going
I mean,
cute
she
girl
is
because it seems like an easy point.
What if there's two cute girls?
I don't even know who y'all are talking about, but her.
That one.
Just put me down for whatever.
Cute
All right.
girl. We all choose cute girl.
I put Derek down.
It's unanimous.
He does create the best content for sure. Full stop.
I'll put you down for the girl too. Okay, guys, let's get into the actual.
I just want him to half stop one day. Just half stop.
No, I want him to absolutely actually stop. Like, just seriously stop. Like, please, for the love of God.
Best multiplayer. It's Back for Blood, Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, It Takes Two, or Valheim. And my prediction for that was It Takes Two. What do you think, Kyle?
I'm gonna go Back for Blood.
Okay. And Jeff?
It Takes Two.
Eric?
I mean, I want it to be Back for Blood, but it's going to be It Takes Two.
And
I went Valheim, baby.
I really hope Valheim wins for that, or Back for Blood
Valheim?
would be a good winner for that too.
It'd be cool
All
to see
right, and
Back for Blood win something, but I don't think a lot of our
Yeah.
favorites are going to win,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I haven't played It Takes Two, and I keep telling myself I got to play this, but I just haven't yet. Best sports racing. This is going to be a really tough one, I think. I've heard
It's
I've heard
wide
Madden.
open.
Madden's pretty good. All right, so
Mm.
let me find this. Okay, we got F1 2021, FIFA 22, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Forza Horizon 5, and Riders Republic. Is anyone not picking Forza Horizon 5 for this?
I swear to God, if this Hot Wheels game wins this, I'm gonna lose it. But yeah,
I mean, Hot Wheels Unleashed is pretty good, but
is
It's
it
fun
Forza?
for like 3 races.
yeah.
it's better than Forza. You know, that's
Nope.
what we're going. You know, exactly. Yeah, it's
I
gotta be
just
Forza.
got my copy of Riders Republic, so I'll definitely check that out. But nobody's gonna come close to Forza.
I played a little bit of Riders with my daughter. That's actually kind of a fun game. It's just not my personal favorite, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It
all
was
right.
worth. I got it for like $20, so it's worth.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a
That's
good
about
price.
what it's worth. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. Best sim or strategy. It is weird that Microsoft Flight Simulator is nominated for this, but it is. So that's one of the nominees, along with Inscription, Humankind, Evil Genius 2, and Age of Empires 4, which is my pick, is Age of Empires 4. That's what I think. Kyle, what do you think?
I think it's gonna be Microsoft Simulator.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Sim too.
Okay. And Jeff?
I thought it won last year, so I went Age of Empires 4.
Okay. And Dan?
I want it to be Age of Empires, but I just feel very strongly that it'll be Flight Simulator.
A little weird that it could win 2 years in a row just because it came
Yeah.
out.
Did it get nominated last year and win?
It won
Oh.
last year.
I thought
Oh.
so. I thought it
So
won.
how
So
is
why-
it nominated again?
I'm
Yeah.
99% sure it won last year.
console release.
Someone looked that up since I got spreadsheets. up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it PC last year?
Yeah, probably.
Xbox this year.
Yeah,
But
it won last year.
that's-
I'm looking at
that's
it now.
Still
Yeah.
stupid because we
That's
have games
dumb.
release all. That's like saying
Genshin Impact had the same thing with mobile game. Like,
Yeah.
like they got nominated last year. They
Then
got
I
nominated.
can I
Yeah.
change mine then because I don't feel good about that.
Yeah.
They could
Yeah,
still win
I'm-
though. They could still
I
win.
mean, it could still win.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I would. Oh, that'd be so dumb. I'd be mad about
It would
that.
be, it would be.
No, I have to go Age of Empires because like
All
that's
right.
crazy.
You know what? Change mine too. Suck it, Microsoft.
well,
If
they made
you
that-
can't
didn't
win
they do that
2
one
years
too?
in a row, and then like the second year it wins on a lesser version of the game. Like no, like no way, no
I
way.
mean,
That's insane.
I was going to change it too, but I'm not a follower, so
Yeah.
keep mine the way it is.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm passionate about Age of
hipster,
Empires.
whatever.
Might win. All right, best family game. It Takes Two, Mario Party
I
Superstars,
mean, we already know.
new Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, or WarioWare Get It Together. Dan, what do you think?
Takes two.
Pokemans.
Derek says It Takes Two. Dan says Pokemon. Oh,
you're going with your favorite, Dan. I don't understand it. There's no way Pokemon Snap's gonna win.
Are you kidding me? It's the highest grossing franchise out of any franchises.
They don't give a shit about that.
That game
They
does
care
have
about...
nostalgia for days. People wanted that game so bad, but I don't know anybody who's playing that game. So
I'm also on the It Takes Two bandwagon for this one. Even though I'm not saying it's the best game for kids, I think they will pick it.
That's what I'm
It Takes Two
saying.
is gonna win almost any category it's in.
I don't think so. I disagree. I think they're gonna spread the love. I think WarioWare is gonna get it for this one.
WarioWare is Jeff's pick. Kyle, what do you think?
It's also
I gotta say, I think this is the one that It Takes Two wins, and it doesn't win the other ones.
Stevia. Choke on your stevia, bro.
Ah, well, that's just mean.
Choke on your
soda
stevia.
for wokes.
For
all right, best fighting
So
game. I think it's been a weaker year for fighting games, from what I can tell. Demon Slayer, which I won't try to read the whole title. Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, or Virtua Fighter 5.
This one's easy.
I think Guilty Gear.
Absolutely.
If it's not, that's crazy.
The only one on that list.
The one that reviewed well. Yeah.
It's the only
real fighter that would actually be an MLG, like if they did, or Evo or whatever they call it.
I will be buying it eventually. Just waiting.
Yeah, same. It was on sale. Like it might be this week on the end of the year sale or whatever.
Pretty game. It looks really nice.
Great music too.
Best role-playing game, of course. We have the weird nomination of Cyberpunk 2077 for this one because of the timing of last year. Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei V, and Tales of Arise. I think this one's actually kind of a tough one to pick. Dan, what do you think?
I picked definitely Tales.
Okay.
It's very good.
Derek, who do you think will win?
They're not going to pick it.
It's because you're anti-Asia. You damn American.
It's not me, it's them. Okay? They're the racists.
Okay.
Tales of Arise will win it easily.
Mm-mm.
That's my pick as well, actually. I think it's going to win.
Jeff, you guys are lying to yourself.
I think it's going to be Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
I don't even
know because it's actual artists who like pretended to be other artists in world to make in-game. Like I think like they're gonna really pump up like how the music is made and.
Yeah, no, this is RPG.
Oh, I thought it was music. Oh, I'm so dumb. It's Tales. 100% Tales.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I'm the weird one going Monster Hunter Rise.
I don't even consider Monster Hunter Rise an RPG, to be honest.
I will say this though: if Cyberpunk's going to win an award, like they would win it this year compared to last year with all the negative press around it. I think it would have struggled in anything, to be honest with you.
The only way they would have had it.
I think music, which I'm pretty sure it's nominated for, is the only thing it's capable of winning. Okay. Cyberpunk, that is.
I think it would have won or could have won this year if they would have released the Series X and PS5 update.
And in working condition.
It took the full year to get the game working, though, so that was out of the question, it looks like.
Too much negative press for that game to ever have a chance to win any legit.
Yeah, I agree with that, which is why I think a superficial award like music would be the only thing it could win.
Which it has great music, so.
And it is, I'm pretty sure it's nominated for, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah. Jeff, you said Monster Hunter for that one, right? Did I get that one? Okay. Monster Hunter Rise, specifically, since there were 2 Monster Hunter games this year. And they're both RPGs. All right, Best Action Adventure Game. The nominees are Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Psychonauts 2, which is my pick. I think Psychonauts 2 will win this.
This one's really tough, honestly.
Kyle, who do you think will win this one?
There's going to be Psychonauts 2 or Ratchet for me. I'll go Ratchet, just to go different. I'll go Ratchet.
Okay. All right. Jeff?
I keep going back and forth between Ratchet and Guardians, actually. I have Guardians in there now, but let's do Ratchet.
Wins later. You want
let's
to wait
do Ratchet and Clank. Okay. Let's do Ratchet and Clank. I'm probably gonna go back in there and fill in actual nominations for the esports one, anyways. So
you can, but you're not getting points for it. So
hey, whatever, man. That's
no
BS.
bonus points.
You can. You can give yourself bonus points for one. Derek, who do you think will win Action Adventure?
I mean, I disagree with this pick, but it's Ratchet.
And Dan.
I actually like every game except Psychonauts 2 more than Ratchet on that list.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I think it's the least likely to win this category is Resident Evil Village, but it'd be great if it did. I think that's a great action adventure.
I mean, yeah. No, absolutely.
I think it's least likely to win though. I don't know why.
I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy is actually the best action adventure game out of all of them.
I mean, that's the one I would have.
That's the one I would want to win. Yeah.
That might be my personal pick out of this list. I don't know yet. I
was going to say it's probably.
I mean, that's as adventure as it comes, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. All right. So, wait, Dan, you said Psychonauts.
Psychonauts. I just think, that seems like that has a good chance of winning. So.
Yeah.
You guys are
Alright.
getting a little too Microsoft on me. Let's get back to the pony side.
I mean,
please.
you
Well,
are
this
the
next-
Oh, it's
Microsoft.
coming.
This next one's got a Microsoft.
Hey, I keep picking pony stuff.
So for best action game, the nominees are Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop. There's some Sony, Far Cry 6, and Returnal, another Sony. So Dan, who's going to win best action game, or which one's going to win best action?
I
game?
will say Returnal.
Okay. Derek.
So I want to say Deathloop because I think Deathloop's going to, spoiler, win the game of the year. But I think they're going to give it to Returnal because they know Deathloop's going to win game of the year.
Okay.
Interesting.
Jeff.
Interesting.
I think they're going to go with Returnal because the combat's better than Deathloop.
Yeah.
Burn.
Kyle?
Uh-oh.
No, I mean,
I'm gonna bite
Derek's
my
right.
tongue.
I think they're gonna go Returnal because Deathloop is gonna win.
Yeah, we're all picking Returnal here. I think it's because when you look at which game is the best in this genre, just the action genre, it's Returnal. So I think that's what they're gonna pick out of all these. All right, VR and AR.
Augmented reality.
Griffey was? Oh, he had it in his bag.
Resident Evil 4.
Yes, we've got Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, and Sniper Elite VR. I've picked Resident Evil 4 for this. Anybody else pick something different? Or is that everyone?
I went with Hitman 3.
Hitman 3 for Jeff, okay. Kyle, what do you think?
Got to win something, man. That game's amazing.
RE4.
It is.
RE4 and Derek
Yes,
and Dan.
but Resident Evil 4 like
RE4.
reviewed really good on
Yeah, and
VR.
Hitman 3 was only on PlayStation, and
Okay.
no one cared.
Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, I picked RE4 as well because they seem to do a lot of work with that. So
I think it'll
Oh,
win.
that doesn't sound biased at all. Nobody here loves RE4 already, right?
Shut up.
Biased.
Like 12-year-old game winning some kind of award. That's right, yeah.
All right, this accessibility, when we were chatting about this earlier today, and I think Jeff and I came to the same exact conclusion. So I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? Something in accessibility. It's like it's not advancement. There's something in accessibility. is the whole thing.
Innovation.
Maybe it's innovation. There's something about, hey, this game has taken a step forward somehow in accessibility. I feel like that's the phrasing and the description of the category, but I could be wrong. But the nominees are Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Veil, Shadow of the Crown. So if you're listening to this and you recognize 4 of those because they're super high profile, big games, and the other one sounds like, is this an indie game? No. The Veil was actually specifically made for blind people. It's got no visuals in the game whatsoever. So that's my pick, is The Veil, Shadow of the Crown.
Yes.
yeah. See, I didn't know what to pick for this one, so that's smart.
It's like so obvious when you look up details on that game. You're like, oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, obviously that's going to win. All right.
So that's my pick. That's Jeff's pick. Kyle, Derek, Dan.
I mean, I'm gonna pick that not even because I think it's like the most accessible, but like it's such a Keeley thing to do to be like, hey, we're gonna go with the little guy on this one.
I will say,
So.
I'm gonna pull a Kyle here and say I think it is cool that they made this. Like someone made a game that's specifically for folks who don't get to enjoy.
I think that's super rad.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah,
I will say that
I'll switch mine to that too.
Ubisoft and all them do a really good job of. They're very inclusive in this area.
All these games are really, really good at accessibility options.
Yeah, Far Cry 6 started reading the menu to me, and I didn't even ask him to. I was like, stop.
Yeah,
Forza does it every time.
Yeah. Dude, the second I hear that just annoying robot voice, I'm like, please stop. Just immediately. I'm like, stop. Just.
Yep.
I'm gonna take
All
over.
right, best community support. So this is different than ongoing game. This is specifically, I guess, I don't know if it's necessarily just the boards or how they communicate on Twitter. I don't know, or on Discord. I don't know exactly what this is, but it's
I assume it's social media presence, like who responds.
I think it's an overall vibe of how they communicate with their community. So however they do that, it's Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky. I'm picking No Man's Sky. I do feel like they've talked and communicate with.
I was thinking that best community support would be like the community like supporting the game, like it's still active and alive.
Could be.
Seems like it could be a lot of things.
So I would go Fortnite.
Okay, Fortnite.
Wait, can you say them one more time for me?
So we've got Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy 14, Destiny 2, Apex Legends.
I'm gonna say Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
Y'all just picking shit we like now. Okay.
No, I don't like that.
Why are you so offended by that, Jeff?
That game is like one of the most successful MMOs working right now, and
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
know the links that they go through to talk to their community, and I haven't played that game in 8 years, so
And
I just
Dan,
hear
that's your
so
pick
much
too, right?
about it. Yeah.
All right.
Dude, Yoshida.
Kyle, you don't even need to explain yourself to Jeff. Just tell him to choke on a stevia and then
Jesus Christ. So we're switching from penises to stevia. Is that what we're?
We're trying to be a little bit healthier in 2020.
Yeah.
too many calories? What? Like I don't need.
Yeah. Since Jeff
Have
Keighley
you
told us it's
read
time to
hot
turn the
dog
calendar over.
packages? Hot dog packages have a lot of calories. Bro.
Okay, all right.
Jeff, what's your pick for community support?
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky, and Dan, you were Final Fantasy as well, right? Of course.
Final Fantasy 14 is not going to win anything this award show.
Dude, Yoshida like fell to his knees apologizing because they had to delay Endwalker like 2 weeks. He was like, "I'm so sorry."
I
Like,
really think we should look up what this award is because I
There's so
actually
much,
think
there's,
it's community.
so much hype around.
let's
Endwalker,
not look it up
crazy.
because it's gonna be 14 that wins, and then I'm gonna laugh at Jeff a lot. Just
It's gonna be.
I won't. I'm
Fortnite,
gonna be
'cause
silent
it's
about
gonna
it, but
be
I'll
the
That's
forever.
fine
I'll
too.
go. Boy, I was so right about that.
I'm looking.
Welcome, like fanboys. Fall Guys won last year, so I don't even know what this award is.
I'm telling you, I think it's player base.
No, I think it's like the community says we want something, and then the developers go, okay.
And then Destiny 2 won the year before that, so I don't
Destiny
even know.
2 is very hands-on with their community.
They are.
That tracks.
I don't see a description for it that I can find. So
Now they just don't listen to their community anymore.
I think
so
the description
that's why
is
they're not gonna
anything that
win.
Jeff doesn't agree with.
So
right,
it's only been the last 2 years that it's been present in the award show, so I don't know what
I
else.
mean, maybe you guys are right. I just took it as like a popular ongoing game.
You know what's not going to win 100% Fortnite anything, period. Because that game is 17 years old and no one gives a shit.
dude,
So-
it 100% could
yeah,
win.
it could still win. Yeah.
It
I really
absolutely
hope
could
it
win.
wins.
You guys, I don't even like this frame of mind that y'all are in right now. Like, there's
I
no
hope it
way
wins.
Fortnite's going to win, and we have
Okay,
to will that on,
but
all
I
right?
hope it wins so when I come back on the show 3 months from now,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I can
exactly.
rub it in on y'all.
He's just gonna be a dick in the
Well, I'll
chat.
be like, we don't know
and
what
not
you're
to
talking
show
about.
up.
You're like, remember back in December, you know?
All right, guys,
No.
what's gonna win? Best,
told Jeff to suck on his stevia.
what's
Still doing it, bro.
One, Incubus, Fortnite, Incubus.
what's the best mobile game? Is it Fantasian, Genshin Impact, League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Future Evolution, or Pokemon Unite? I'm going with League of Legends Wild Rift, even though I don't think it came out this year, but I'm gonna go with that one anyway. Kyle, what do you think? Oh, you think Genshin? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's name them one more time. I knew there was one that stood out to me.
You got Genshin, League of Legends, Fantasian, Marvel, and Pokemon.
The Marvel one, yeah.
Okay.
I think the Marvel one.
Jeff?
Oh, I went with Pokemon Unite because I have no idea what to pick here.
Okay. Dan?
I mean, the actual objective answer is Fantasian because it's Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy. So
Oh my god.
Dude, you know
That's-
what?
that's
When
the
you answered
actual
with your
answer.
heart in the previous predictions, you finished in a distant 4th place.
Yeah.
it's
So,
fine.
just
I'd rather go with my heart than whatever Jeff is scoffing about.
fair enough.
You're just so
Fair.
bad. How are you so bad at it?
I'm not
Yeah,
bad. I'm
really,
picking the right
um,
ansers. They just don't agree.
All right, which
Oh,
That
game,
one
wow.
actually reviewed really well, so I don't.
which
you know,
game will
just
win
saying.
for best indie? Is it going to be?
I
12
hope you
minutes?
use that on your wife. I mean, I'm actually right. You just don't agree.
Oh, that'll go over well.
Yeah, that's a great way to come to a compromise. It always works great. And best indie, is it going to be 12 minutes? Death's Door, Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is also up for best debut indie, which is a little confusing to me. Inscription or Loop Hero. So 12 minutes, Death's Door, Kena, Inscription, Loop Hero. I'm going with Death's Door, although I think it could be Kena that wins, but I think Death's Door will win. Derek, what do you think?
What is this for? Indie?
Best indie, yeah.
Your favorite category.
Ooh,
12
I actually think, unfortunately, it's going to be 12 minutes. That trash ass game.
No, it's a
Okay.
great game. You're
I think
wrong.
people hate that game. So that's the read
Jeff?
that I get online.
I mean, I guess if Kano wins any category, it's this one, but Death's Door feels like the most sure bet
Okay.
in this
Dan?
category.
Yeah, Death's Door. It's got the Zelda vibe. So
Dude, that's such a good game. It's one of the only games I've 100%ed in recent memory. I love that game. Kyle?
Death's Door. I think Kena wins the other one. I think they built that whole category for Kena, to be honest.
Oh, so do you want to go back and change that one?
What did I choose?
You had
Valheim.
Valheim like the rest of us.
No, because Valheim's gonna win that one. Never mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Right.
think Kane is gonna get robbed. Yeah. I
There you
forgot I
go.
was against Valheim. I think Valheim is more popular than. I mean, you guys know. Never mind. Like, I think.
Yeah. I'm also surprised it got nominated since Valheim is about 60% finished, I think. Something like that.
They do this all the time though, where they award a game that's in
Yeah,
progress.
Fortnite
like,
was awarded, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
was
You're
It
right.
won.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so that's why Valheim I thought was a shoo-in for that one.
early access or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Listen, I
yeah,
know this one
exactly.
feels kind of redundant because we've already done community support and stuff, but whatever. Best ongoing game. We're just making
All right,
predictions.
then
here.
that's the award that I was confusing with.
You want that for Fortnite? I don't know if they
Yeah.
were nominated. Let's see. We've got. Oh yeah, it is. Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy 14, Genshin Impact, or Fortnite. I'm picking Apex Legends here. Not really based on any knowledge. I'm just taking a swing.
Yeah. Same.
Oh, you're Apex Legends, Jeff?
No, I took a swing is what I was aiming.
Oh, Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, Call of Duty Warzone is my guess. I have no idea though.
And Derek, you're Fortnite on this one.
Yeah, which means I would need to change best community support, but whatever.
What do you want to change that one to? Final Fantasy
No.
or
Not a tryhard like Dan.
No
Let's
Man's
go
Sky?
No Man's
No,
Sky.
I don't know what about that is tryhard exactly. I don't think you understand the definition of try.
You keep trying hard to get your shit to win. It's not gonna win, bro. You're a tryhard. Get out of
Well,
here.
I
Alright,
mean,
Dan.
I'm part of the voting or whatever you
Shut
want.
up.
Yeah, it's 14.
Okay, Final Fantasy 14, of course. And Kyle?
No Man's Sky was part of that?
No, best ongoing is Apex, Warzone, Final Fantasy, Genshin Impact, and Fortnite.
Oh man. I'm gonna say Genshin Impact.
This is the kind of category.
I love when we're all different.
Yeah,
That's
because
fun.
someone's going to pull in the lead there. All right. Games for Impact. We're going to lean on our resident emotional boy.
Cry
Jeffrey.
boy.
Let's see. Where'd that list go here? Where is it? Games for it.
He's texting his wife right now
There it
to
is.
tell her how upset he is that I keep hurting his feelings. I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm really sorry.
I don't know if you were
Stop
talking
crying.
about Jeff because is this the one that made him sad? The before
Stop
So
crying.
we've got Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, Life is Strange True Colors, Chicory, and No Longer Home. And based on Jeff's report last week, I almost picked Before Your Eyes, but I'm going to go with Life is Strange. I just feel like that's the most mainstream one and will win. That's my pick, because Life is Strange True Colors. Kyle, what do you
Yep.
think?
Life is Strange for me as well.
And Derek, you too?
Life is Strange, Rainbow, for sure.
Jeff?
Educate yourself. It's before your eyes.
Okay. Dan, were you won over by Jeff's case last week?
Well, it's just a couple of details. He said the ending was impactful, and then like the actual uniqueness of the gameplay just kind of was like, oh, okay, that seems different. So
All right. So you
You
guys
can
both
just
pick-
YouTube before your eyes reaction, and you'll see why this
just
is what
people
it's gonna be.
crying, just tears.
I mean, just oh my god.
and then
dude.
Derek reacting to those videos being
so many
tearless.
streamers that were like not ready for that at all
I'm still gonna go with Life is Strange.
because you're dumb. Kyle's not dumb though for doing it. Tim's not dumb. You're just dumb because you are just dumb. You just are. When it comes out of your mouth, it sounds dumber.
So much
All right.
hostility in like 40 minutes.
I had to
Jeez.
take a second to talk to my son, and so you guys are going way off the rails. Okay, best performance. Is it Eric
Dad
Amori?
leaves the room for a second and the kids go crazy in both of his houses.
Eric Amori, I know it's so true. Eric Amori played Alex in Life is Strange. Giancarlo Esposito, Far Cry 6. Jason Kelly from Deathloop. Maggie Robertson, Resident Evil Village. She played Lady D. And then Ozioma Akaga. I'm
Aka.
sorry, I know you know her from
A cop. It's
time
it's
ago.
okay.
Okay, Jeff, from Deathloop. I'm gonna pick the girl I can't say her name from Deathloop, even though I feel like it might be Giancarlo. I'm on the verge, but I feel like her performance in Deathloop is gonna win people over, and I think they just love Deathloop over there, which is fine. I think it's a valid pick. So that's my prediction: is that Ozioma is gonna win. Kyle, who do you think?
Same as you, Tim. I think she's a shoe-in.
Jeff?
I don't think Deathloop is going to win that much. I think they're going to spread the love. So this is where I went with Life is Strange.
Okay.
Pick to Eric Amori.
It's good.
Playing
That's
Alex.
a good pick. Yeah.
Derek?
Kyle knows. Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, it's
Uh,
great.
Ubisoft has definitely paid money to win this award.
Giancarlo?
Okay.
Actually,
Gus.
he might, and he was great in that, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
By the
He's a
way,
professional
one of the
actor.
Not great
reasons
in.
one of the reasons I love Deathloop, and it's probably going to easily be my game of the year unless Halo is as good as I think it will be, is the interaction between the two main characters.
Great. It really is great.
Their conversations are, I literally laugh, and a
Their
lot of
banter
games
is awesome.
they're hilarious.
Yeah.
I wish they could
The
both
way
work.
they cut each other off, it's almost like
Oh, yeah.
us.
It really sounds like
goes,
it
as soon
sounds
as
like
he
they're
goes
in the
to
same
respond,
room, right?
She just hangs up. She says
Yeah.
something snide and rude and then hangs up.
It's like they're literally in the
they're-
same room, just being people. It's not even characters. It's just they're just two people that are just with the history and everything.
So Dan, who do you think's gonna win?
Yeah, Ozuyama as well. Yeah, she's
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah, she is really great.
I mean, Colt is awesome too, but she's just a little
I
extra.
can't
Honestly,
believe we're
and I-
nominating somebody I went to high school. That's so crazy to me. The
Yeah, that is.
freaking
Yeah.
world we
I
live
actually
in.
think all 5 of these nominees did a great job. From what
Oh
I've
yeah,
I just am firing up Life is Strange this week after we record tonight. That's my game to play tonight. And I'm sure she did a good job on that too. I just feel like all the performances in here were great. I loved Maggie Roberts. I didn't even know that was her name. Her as Lady, however you say it,
Lady D.
Lady D. And
Dimitrescu.
she was great in that role. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
Big time.
With Life is Strange, I lean that way, and I feel like the voters will because she is way more present in that game. You know, whereas Juliana and Colt are like sharing a role, kind of.
Sure.
And it relies on their banter. Whereas with what's her name, Alex, she's like, I mean, you're her. It's
Yeah.
the whole game hinges on her performance.
all right, so this is not for score and music. This is audio design, and the nominees are Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, or Returnal. I'm going with Resident Evil Village. I feel like the sound effects and environmental stuff is just perfect in that game. Looks like Jeff and Dan picked the same thing for that one, right?
Yeah.
Same for me
Because
as
a
well.
lot of the horror relies on that. I feel like.
And Kyle, you too?
Yeah, I think it's so gonna win.
Derek, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Village, but I will just a shout out to Forza Horizon 5. Like, I know it's no different than really the other Forza games, but that's kind of the point. Is they nail every sound of. I mean, think about it. You got hundreds and hundreds of cars, and everything's accurate. Everything.
And
The only reason I'm
depending on the
not picking
surface
that
you're
is because
driving on.
it's winning sports, for sure.
But
Yeah.
like Forza, you're right. Like especially if you have headphones in and you're really cranking up the volume, even with music on, you can like the sound of what surface you're on. It's so
Yep.
good.
It's
You
everything.
know, every part you change on your car changes the sound of your car as well, and like
Yeah.
it's
That
very
game,
noticeable.
that game is so
Crazy.
good, man. I'm so mad it's not nominated for Game
Yeah,
Awards. It's so
same.
good for best game overall.
You know what's a shame to not be nominated for audio design, and that's Unpacking. I mean, am I right? Unpacking? No.
I mean, you can say what you want about it. The audio design is really
I
good.
don't know.
It is.
I think what
It
we're
is.
really all mad about is Crash Bandicoot not being nominated. That was for you, Gaston. That was for you.
Crash.
Really?
There you
Just,
go,
you just had to throw
Gaston.
that in there, huh?
I got
There
you.
you go.
I got
Turn
you,
it off
man.
now, Gaston.
I got you, man.
Get
You
that
can turn
spoiler
it-
cast on the way. It's just the problem
our
is
number one fan.
no one wants to
Yes.
attend it. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
We have it scheduled. Nobody shows up.
No one shows up. We've scheduled it like 5 times
Just
and
keep
no one shows
pushing
up.
it back. Just keep.
Gaston, I hope you're happy I'm back. I still hate you, and your choice in games is trash. Go ahead.
All right. So
Okay.
best score in music:
There you go.
Cyberpunk, Deathloop, Nier Replicant, Guardians of the Galaxy. No, Dan, I'm not reading the whole title of Nier. Guardians of the Galaxy
come on.
or Artful Escape. Dan, who do you think? Which game's gonna win best score in music?
Well, I don't have the numbers in front of me, so near replicant.
Bias.
Derek, which game's gonna win best score in
You're a
music?
bias.
I'm gonna go with Cyberpunk.
I assume this can take into account the soundtrack too, right?
Yes.
The score in music. So
That's what I felt. I feel like that's how Guardians got nominated as well.
Jeff, what's your pick for this one?
Artful Escape. That's like the entire point of the game.
Yeah.
I almost picked that one. The music is incredible in that game, especially because they have to create these loops that go fluidly
Mhm.
depending on what you do. It's really,
Yeah.
really good. Kyle, what do you think?
I think it's Cyberpunk, even though I think everyone in the crowd's gonna boo.
Dude, if they straight up boo, that
might
would
actually happen.
that would be
I know. I think yeah. I think the people who vote, like I think people who like play games and like the media will vote for this game, but the people in the crowd they're gonna boo for sure.
I picked Cyberpunk for this as well. I do think the music in that game is excellent, and I think
Spent
it's
a
one
lot
way.
of time.
It's one way to kind of show them like, hey, I know you came out last year, but here's an award. Like I think it just feels
Yeah,
like
I think there's gonna be
because I don't think they'll win best RPG, but we'll see.
No.
We'll see what happens. Okay, now we're up to best art direction, and they don't really have a best graphics or best visuals. This is the closest thing they have to it. So this is an interesting one. So Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, or The Artful Escape. I'm going with Deathloop on this one. I think I think that's what's going to win. Kyle, which one do you
I
think?
don't
will
think they're
win?
going to win as much.
I
as you
think
guys think they're
Psychonauts
gonna
2
win.
wins this one.
Psychonauts 2. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Kana.
Ooh, I think we're all going different. This is going to be fun.
All right. Kana for Derek.
Jeff is
Dan?
a tryhard, so he's definitely Artful Escape. Go ahead
Dan,
and
what
write
do you
that in
think?
I
for
got
me.
the
chose that
tryhard
one.
this time.
I'm a try hard too.
Dan, you're Artful Escape,
Yeah, Artful
right?
Escape, yes.
Yeah, I'm
Beautiful
Ratchet
game.
and Clank actually. Yeah.
Ratchet and
Nice.
Clank for
This
Jeff.
is
Okay.
You're
wow,
terrible.
we spreaded it out there. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Way to spread it, guys. All right, best
Mm.
narrative.
That's what
Um, that was a softball to see who wanted to take a swing at that one.
I didn't even catch it.
All right, best narrative. Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Two Colors, Guardians of the Galaxy, or Psychonauts 2. Dan, which one's gonna win best narrative?
I did put down Life is Strange, but now I'm wondering if I want to change that to Guardians because I haven't voted for them. I'm gonna change it to Guardians. You know what? Guardians. Yeah.
One with your heart works every
Going with my
time.
heart. Going with my heart.
Derek.
Believe in the heart. Believe in the heart.
I haven't played it, but I heard that It Takes Two has a good narrative, right? Is that why people
That's what
like
I've
it?
heard too. Yeah.
I heard it's good. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with It Takes Two.
Don't sound so disappointed with your choice.
Jeff,
I don't like voting for games that I think are stupid.
that's fair. But again, this is
vote
predicting.
with your
this is
heart.
predicting. So this
Yeah,
is
you're not. It's not your vote.
yeah, Jeff.
All right, I'll vote with my heart. University of Michigan. That's what I vote every time. They win the
Yeah.
national championship.
Please
every year.
beat Iowa. Please beat Iowa this year, tomorrow.
Nobody cares.
Uh,
College sports are done.
Jeff, who's gonna
God
win?
damn it.
Which is gonna
What
win?
an
Best...
old, cranky, ugly ass I hate you face.
Jesus.
Wow.
Oh god.
Jeff, who's gonna win?
Are we
best-
on me now? I feel like Psychonauts is going to win one category, and it's going to be this one.
Okay.
For
Kyle?
what? That's
I
narrative.
think this is the one that Life is Strange wins.
Life is Strange. Me too. That's what I think.
Because
is
I
Life
feel
is
like
Strange.
they're going to spread everything out like they kind of somewhat do every year except for
They
last year.
do, but why?
Sam,
would
you're just
you
spreading
pick
it out wrong. That's all.
What did Psychonauts 2's narrative do that would be
Oh,
better?
don't.
Than...
It's good, dude. Just don't. Whatever you're doing, don't.
Just whatever you
It's
do.
actually.
What he always does.
I know. I don't know if you'll believe me or not.
I think it's
'cause
for the
I'm-
intricacies. that
You
I'm
guys
going
don't
with
even
it.
have to explain. It doesn't matter. It's falling off
Yeah,
Jeffy's
he's
I'm the
already
one
checked
who's
out.
I'm the one who's championed this game more than anybody, but it's not even my personal pick for best story of the year, even though I do think it's quite good. If you think about like what's the overarching like solid storyline, it's fine. They've got really interesting story threads. I think I've talked about that to you guys, but like
Yeah.
it's not my favorite overall story of the year, and I love that game. So I just don't think it's going to win best narrative. It's not. It's a little bit too like, hey, that side story was good, or this little person's side story was good, but it's not overall a great story. I do think it'd be great if Guardians won. I love when a game that no one knew was going to come out gets announced, and then everyone expects it to be garbage, and it's actually really good. I love when that kind of stuff happens. So I would love it if Guardians wins, but I do think Life is Strange will take it. All right, last two. Game direction. The nominees for this one are Deathloop, Psychonauts 2, It Takes Two, Returnal, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. My pick for this one is Deathloop. I think Deathloop's going to sweep, you guys. So I'm picking Deathloop.
I mean, they're not going to win that much, but yes, they are going to win this one for sure.
Jeff picks Deathloop. Kyle,
yeah,
what
this is like what
Arcane,
developer do
yeah.
voters love.
Yeah, Arcane, like, of course, they're going to get, like, the big attaboy, for sure.
Okay, Derek
I'm gonna go with Deathloop.
and Dan.
I'll switch mine to Deathloop.
Dan's on So we're all in on Deathloop for direction. And again, it's one of those things where I think they're gonna if they don't win Game of the Year, which I do think they're gonna win too. We'll get to that in a second. I think they will at least get best game direction because of the intricacies of how they piece that game together, and they want you to start. It's very
complex.
It's
Yeah,
very
it's super
very
complex.
well done.
Who beat that game in this crew here?
Nobody,
Who's-
because it's...
I'm
a
pretty
nutty
I'm
game.
pretty far into it, but I'm still piecing together. I'm probably
Here's-
like 20, 30
Here's my
hours.
problem.
in
I
it.
played like 3 hours or a little more than that. The day or two that it came out, and I was into it, and then I stepped away from it, tried to come back, and I was like, I don't remember what I'm doing or what the
Yeah,
the
that
loop-
happened to me because I had the glitch going on. I don't know if you hit that, Derek. The where you're in the middle of the loop and then it just like will freeze if you go into the menu, and then you have to start that loop over
That
or
happened
that
to me.
section. Yeah.
That happened once.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it happened
That
a
happened.
handful of times for me. So
All right, guys, what's going to win Best Game of the Year? We've got 6 nominees for this one.
Deathloop.
Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, or Resident Evil Village. Derek, you said Deathloop?
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because I think I've only said Village for one category, and that was for audio. So that's
Audio.
kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm missing on something. Resident Evil should have won more.
I mean, it's one of those years where everyone
how
said
it
it
happens every
sucks,
year.
but it didn't actually suck. It did not suck.
Resident Evil could have won for action
Mm.
adventure was the other major one, and you picked Ratchet and Clank. Do you want to switch it?
What did I say? Action adventure?
You said Ratchet and
Ratchet.
Clank.
I still think that's gonna be a pony category right
I
there.
think that's a pretty good guess, to be honest.
Kyle, Jeff, what's gonna win best overall game?
The Loop of Death.
Loop of Death. I'll type that one in there.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Dan.
I don't know. It Takes Two just seems like something that would win to me.
Okay. This would be one of
It
those
does
years.
feel like enough try-hard voters could make that the game of the year. Yeah.
Especially with all the Take-Two nonsense that's going on. They're going to be like, you know
Oh,
what, let's
dude,
throw them a
yeah.
bone.
Yeah.
I could see it winning. Kyle.
Deathloop, I think. Yep.
Yeah. Not to be boring, but I do think that one. I actually think it's going to clean up. I think it's going to win most of the categories it's nominated for.
And I'm not going to be happy.
It's not
about
like
it.
Last of Us 2. I think Last of Us 2 will be like one of the only ones to do that, honestly.
Well, I think that the love for Deathloop is overflowing. So I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Listen,
it.
as somebody who's 20 hours into it and has not played probably even close to as many games as you guys or gotten as far, I've played probably as many games as you guys, but gotten as far in other games. This game is worthy of all its praise. It's
I
why
believe it.
Absolutely.
it's why
Yeah.
I'm death looping goat as fuck every 5 seconds because it's that good.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
is very,
deserved.
very good. Something about it when I tried to go back to it, because I remember loving it, and then I tried to go back to it, and then I was like, oh, I don't really want to play this. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because
You do have to kind of consistently
I don't.
go be in it, like because
Yeah,
when I
maybe.
was dealing with the glitches and I stepped away and then went back, I was like, what am I doing again? But then, yeah, once you get back in the groove, it's
All right, let's talk about a few headlines here. A Marvel MMO is in development at DC Universe Online's developer. So it's the same folks who actually, if you go way back, they the guy who's leading this was the lead on City of Heroes, which is one of
Nice.
my favorites from
Same.
back in the day. I loved that game. So that's gonna be based on Marvel IP. It's still unannounced, so it's not official, but it's happening. It was in some kind of investor call. Investor calls, man. That's where all the news comes out these days.
Yeah, man.
Dying Light 2 has finally gone gold, so it seems. I mean, that doesn't mean it can't get delayed, but if it does, it would be a minor delay. So I think we're getting closer and closer to Dying Light 2. I actually still had that on my list of games to consider for Game of the Year. As I was looking at our Game of the Year award conversations, I had to eliminate a few that have gotten bumped, and that was one of them. Forgot about that one. Metroid Dread's developers, Mercury Steam, they are developing a multi-platform action RPG that is currently titled, the project is titled Project Iron. So remember that Metroid Dread isn't the only game they made. They of course did Metroid Samus Returns. We heard about that, but they've been around for a while. They did stuff like Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, and its follow-up games. So they know action RPGs. They've been around a little bit. So that'll be interesting. And that's going to be multi-platform. It's not Nintendo exclusive.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's multi-platform.
Me too. I just need to see what they do there. You mentioned It Takes Two, Dan. This is kind of funny because basically there's a trademark claim against. It's not a lawsuit, but it's a trademark claim against them from the Rockstar parent company Take-Two, which is hilarious to me because one of their main companies is Rockstar, which is such a common phrase. Like, are you going to sue everyone who tries to say Rockstar now too? Like, not sue them, but trademark claim, whatever. But yeah, It Takes Two, and I think they lost that trademark claim, didn't they?
I think they had to abandon it, but they're trying to resolve it. I mean, I don't understand these concepts of well, it's a word, so I'm gonna copyright the word or whatever. It's like when Trump tried to be like, people have to pay me money for saying you're fired and bullshit like that.
The only thing I'll mention here is that in the world of SEO and where internet's so important, I can see where Take-Two wants to be the official company that shows up when you search for anything involving Take-Two. So I get that Take-Two wants that, but this is just a little bit silly.
It's very silly.
A little bit silly.
Very silly.
Petty.
But hey, listen. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just saying it's petty. Yeah, I agree.
It's very petty.
Maybe it's just that maybe they know they're going to lose the case. They don't even care about the case. It's just to put it out there that if you're ever thinking about naming a future game, you won't do it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with them coming after you.
It could be.
Not everything is for a win. Sometimes it's for future wins that they don't want to have to deal with.
Also, chances are pretty good. This is their legal department who maybe don't even care about video games. This is just their job, and they're going after anyone who's using their. I mean, they're probably not like, I hate that game, let's take them down. Like they're not it's very much a business, not personal thing. I think that's my guess. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
guys.
we think the setting for the next
What?
BioShock game has been revealed. We're pretty sure, and this is thanks to our good buddy, and he doesn't know who we are, but we like him, Colin Moriarty over at Sacred Symbols. And he actually tweeted about this recently too, so you can go check this out. But there's alleged details, it's still in the rumor category, that this in development fourth BioShock game, which is by a new developer called Cloud Chamber, and they're targeting a 2022 release, by the way. And according to Colin, it's going to be taking place during the 1960s in a fictional Antarctic city.
Interesting.
That's kind of cool. If that's the setting, that'd be a new setting.
All Antarctic cities are fictional because there are no cities there.
That's
Nobody
what you
lives
think.
there.
That's what you think.
You are
Jeff.
a liar because my boss at
I'm
Nordstrom
kidding.
just moved to Antarctica. You are a liar.
To be with the penguins in Penguin City.
It's because
No,
they
so
retired.
There's no penguins there, Jeff.
To be a store manager at Nordstrom. Who
And
would have
they
thought
reti-
there'd be a Nordstrom in Antarctica?
It's the only one that hasn't been looted yet. All right.
Yet.
So I know. Yeah.
Penguins
just
are
wait.
standing by.
Just wait. Grid
No
Grid
penguins
Legends
there, Jeff.
That's
Grid
their
Legends is the racing series from Codemasters, published by EA. It's coming out February 25th. They revealed some stuff about it earlier today. It's coming out to all the big platforms, your Xboxes, your PlayStations, and your PCs.
Does anyone actually care with Forza being around? I mean, come on, let's be honest.
I like the grid games.
I'm being facetious, but
Yeah.
you know,
But I'm
obviously
just
Forza
saying-
has set a bar, right? You know, Forza
It
has
has.
Yeah, but this last grid one that came out was actually really, really good.
I've heard good things about that one. Yeah. So
That's
Grid
fun.
Legends will be out February 25th. They were like, hey, what's a pretty open window where no other games are coming out? How about end
Oh,
of
great.
February?
Yeah.
Very helpful.
But to be fair, there's not a lot of racing games they're going up against, so maybe it'll work out well.
Sure.
The Ascent, previously an Xbox console exclusive, has been rated for the PS4 and PS5. There was no guarantee that would always be an exclusive to Xbox. It's not developed by them or published by them or anything. It was just exclusive for a while. But now that it's been rated for Sony's platforms, I think it's pretty safe to say it'll be arriving there
Cool.
at some point. So pretty solid game.
Probably in 6 months. So it's probably a year console exclusive.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably a summer release on Sony. Speaking of Sony, there's a rumor right now that they might be launching a competitor to Game Pass this spring. Now, people would maybe some folks would argue they already have PS Now. That is the competitor. Well, have you looked at PS Now? It's got a good game selection. Have you tried it? Because I don't think it works all that great, personally, the times that I've tried it.
Are you sure? Why have you not brought Fab on here to
I should bring
destroy
him
you
Well,
right now?
Yeah.
Fab still
busy.
exists. I haven't seen him in a while. Or maybe
Yeah,
I'm just not.
he exists.
Okay.
I posted about this today, and he had some thoughts. Anyway, this is according to Jason Schreier. I don't follow him on Twitter, but people were retweeting him, and I was like, "What's this?" And I think Kyle, you brought this up too. But Sony's planning a new subscription service codenamed Spartacus to take on the Game Pass. It's being pitched as a 3-tier service that's going to merge PlayStation Now with PlayStation Plus. The highest tier, it's rumored, could include PS1, PS2, and PSP games. No word on whether or not that's going to connect with things you already own. Like, no one knows about exactly how this is all going to work. They're likely to keep the PlayStation Plus branding, and PlayStation Now would, at that point, of course, go away, and it all just falls under the PlayStation Plus umbrella, and you pick one of the tiers, whatever those are called. Probably gold, silver, bronze, or something like that. Who knows?
Like the trophies.
They are not expecting,
Platinum.
as part of this rumor, they are not expecting new releases on day one like Game Pass gets. So like Horizon, for example, or God of War would not, in theory, according to this rumor, appear on day one on this. That doesn't mean that it's not going to appear ever,
Yeah.
or that it wouldn't appear, in short order.
They want the sales.
We don't know exactly what that means, but word is that it is a much stronger offering than PS Now. So I've got two thoughts that even if they didn't do day and date brand new games, they could still have a successful platform. Number one is, I think, can they make third-party deals and get some third-party games day and date like Game Pass does? They get some third-party stuff. That could be a step forward. And then you do have some brand new games, even if you don't, or you want to still hold back on your exclusives a little bit. That'd be good. I also think you need to make all these games downloadable to play, because if it's cloud only, I don't want in on this. And that goes for Microsoft too. Like, I tried playing something on the cloud with it's got a direct line in right by my modem downstairs. I was playing on my Xbox One, just trying their cloud service. It did not work great. It's very pixelated. It would freeze, and then it would look great for about 30 seconds. And I've got 850 megabyte download speed per second.
That's
So it
fast.
should be working fine. And there was no one else at home. So I tried it out and it was not working great. So that I think it's just still in beta. They're still working out the kinks. I just don't think it's a great. So if that's what Sony's doing, then I don't think this is going to win. And the last like wish list I would have, and I know it's two. I actually have a third one I just thought of. Make it a PC friendly like Game Pass is. The fact that I can jump on my PC, do Game Pass stuff, download games there. I can do all the cross play and cross save I want with it. There's a few games that are only on console, but there's not very many. Most of them are on both. And then there's a few PC-only games, which is cool. They've made some third-party deals. Microsoft has with some PC-only games. If Sony can do something like that, I'm not saying I think they will, but if they did, I think you've got a legit competitor to Game Pass. Even if you don't put your first-party games day and date, I think you'd have a good.
My issue is the pricing, because here's the thing. PS Plus right now, if you just want a month, is $10. Game Pass Ultimate for a month is $15. So my issue is you can't do $10, $15, $20 scale. Then you're really like setting yourself up for failure. To me, the highest price point you can go is 15. So why do you have three? To me, you can only have two. You have to have a $15 and a $10. You can't have you can't. They're not going to drop it to 5.
And what do you guys think the tiers will be? What will the differences be?
Well, in the rumor it was specified, right? Wasn't there the differentiation between?
They suggest that the highest tier may have older games. But
I think it's bullshit. Yeah. There's no the rumors of 3 tiers is it.
It's too you're complicating it. Like
you're complicating it, and the pricing doesn't make sense. You cannot charge $20 and not be releasing.
They have to release a competitive price to Game Pass. Like it has to be in that realm of pay. Like
you cannot charge $20 and not release.
Especially because you're the unproven commodity at this point. You're like you're the one playing catch up. Like you can't ask for twice as much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it is something like with the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games, to them that's like such like a big like oh my god, because obviously up until this point we still don't really have that.
Sure.
I do think they'll maintain their
current. Complain about that.
I think they'll maintain their current PlayStation Plus subscription at a similar price. That's going to be one tier. Is you maintain PlayStation Plus that you currently have, you get your couple free games a month, and I think that's the one tier. I think another tier is maybe you get access to a certain library of games. Maybe it's just PS5, PS4 games, perhaps. I don't know. And then maybe the highest tier is all your backlog on your previous systems. That's
what I'm saying. That's the rumor.
Yeah.
But if your tier starts at a minimum of $10, just based off of what it is,
it's gonna have to go to 20, right?
Then it would have to go to 20, and there's no way, if you're not offering day one Horizon Forbidden West, you're not offering those games. Why would I pay you $20?
Yeah, I agree with you.
$20.
If they did do those games day one, if that part of the rumor turns out to be false and they are going to do that, then would you pay $20? You get.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's still a no, because the only reason why I do Game Pass Ultimate is because I always buy it when it's on a deal. And Microsoft's a little bit better than Sony at offering deals on their, like, when you first join, $1 for 3 months. And then you can always find deals where you're not paying $45 for 3 months. You're paying $25 or $30 for 3 months.
For me, I paid a lot less money overall for game purchases. I was looking at my history of it with Game Pass, because they always have new games that are rolling in that I'm interested in. So that's helped me not splurge so much.
PlayStation Plus only really goes on sale, like good sale, like around Black Friday. Like it's like $20 off, and then that's pretty much the best that you can.
The only way you can really get it year-round cheaper is if you go to CD Keys, and that's legit. That's not legit. So that's not Sony going to CD Keys and be like, hey, we'll offer you a bunch of keys for cheaper. That's CD Keys being shady. So, like, that's my issue. Like, to me, from a business standpoint, unless Sony, and I know they've been doing some really stupid stuff lately, and it's that arrogant bullshit that they do, but I don't think they're that dumb that they're like, yeah, PS1, PS2, and PS3 are so awesome, we can get $20 a month. No, you're not. You're dumb. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It is important, though. To me, that's like a major selling point. If that's not added in there, like, because again, we've talked about,
add it for 15. 15 is reasonable.
Preserving the history of these things, like they should be, like not being able to play like Metal Gear Solid 4, for example, is absurd.
Dude, if they pie in the sky, if they deliver on a $15 a month price, they do deliver on day and date for their major exclusives, like that you can get it day one. And if everything's downloadable and you get this whole backlog, like then now they've, in my opinion, they've told
Right.
Microsoft, like, we've got something maybe even better than what you have, even without the PC element. Like now you've got a legit competitor, and
'Cause
hopefully something like that would
history.
make Microsoft go like, all right, well, we got to up our game now. Like that's what
Yeah.
you want. You want like
Yeah, yeah.
everyone.
Because
who-
Sony has the history, the back history, you know, the
Correct.
Yeah,
backlog of their history of
absolutely.
games. So, you know.
Correct. Yep. So we'll see what happens. I'm with you, Derek. I hope that it doesn't go above 15. My gut tells me there's going to be a 1999 tier. That's my gut's telling me that, but
That's
I could be wrong.
I mean, that's Sony's MO though. They're just gonna charge you more for the thing that Xbox does cheaper.
It'll be. I think
And
there'll be a
people will buy it 'cause they
1999
have a
tier,
loyal
and then
consumer
I
base.
think there'll be a discount where if you buy for the whole year, it averages out at like 16 a month or something. Like I think it's going to be something like that.
Derek, would you pay $20 if Crash Bandicoot slobbed your knob?
I mean, probably not because I can get that for free from
Okay.
Gamescom.
Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough. He'll put on the outfit and then he'll do that.
Just don't let him do a spin move. That's devastating. All right. So
I apologize, Tim. I know you probably had a rated PG-13 show the last 6 weeks without me here, and now you're moving into rated R.
yes,
Mr.
none of the other guys on the show use naughty language ever. You are correct about that.
I would never do that.
I have never, not one
Yeah.
time.
No, I've just been. I mean, I don't have the 70 or 80 hours that some people do to do podcast editing.
Right.
So
Right.
I sometimes will just slap a "Hey, this episode's explicit" label on there and move on with my life and be like,
Yeah.
"Sorry," you know. And that's probably what I'll do this week too.
And
Kids
back
were
in the day,
rambunctious this week,
back
sorry.
in the day, I used to care about, keeping it clean.
About
I just
me,
don't remember.
I know. I remember those days.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Oh,
right.
that was such a girl thing to
Man,
say.
things
Sad
are
neglected Tim.
That was such a girl thing to say. All right, so Nintendo,
Dad.
speaking of old games, Paper Mario 64 is hitting the Switch Online service December 10th. If you have upgraded to Switch Online Plus expansion,
Yes.
whatever that's called.
I haven't
One
yet.
game at a
It
time.
requires you to do it annually, so I can't. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
One game at
So,
a time, guys.
Paper
One
Mario
game.
64. It is kind of a classic. I don't know that I would call it still a game that you could try from scratch and love, but it's got some good nostalgia if you played it back in the day. And lastly, a new season of Sea of Thieves just launched this past week, and I think this is pretty cool. I know you guys hate Sea of Thieves, or some of you do at least. That's okay. I won't talk about this long, but this is cool. You can actually create.
Majority of the show loves Sea
You
of
can
Thieves, just
create
let you
your
know.
own treasure hunting quests for other people. So it's free for all
Oh.
players, by the way. So you actually can,
Mm.
if you have a valuable item, or a couple of items. If you've used those chests before, you can put 3 items in a chest at a time. So you can bury up to 3 items in a chest. You create a map for it, and you can post it on a quest board, or you can keep the map hidden and see if someone finds it. So there's lots of different things they're letting players do to create
That's
other
cool.
pirate adventures for other people, and then other additions like fireworks and stuff like that to the game. But I think the treasure map stuff is pretty neat. I like that. All right.
That's cool. Can you hide the map up your own player's butt and make another player take it out of you, or is that off the table?
That's
a
not
mod.
That's off
specified,
the
but
table.
it doesn't say that you can't. So maybe
It's a mod. I think it's a mod.
It's a mod.
That's
Wow.
a
It
mod.
doesn't
PC
say that.
gaming.
It doesn't say that you can't do that. Who knows? So, all right, guys, let's talk about stuff we're playing as we wrap things up here for this week. And I say that because we're probably halfway through with how much stuff we're playing. All right, so the Solar Ash just came out, and this is one of 2. I would say it's a relatively big game, nowhere near the realm of Halo Infinite, of course, but it's one of the bigger games of December that won't get acknowledged for Game of the Year. And I think it's a bummer because Solar Ash is actually quite good, and I think it could have gotten some recognition, maybe somewhere in those awards. Who knows? But I think it's pretty great. But I want to hear what you think first, Jeff, because I know you've played more of it than I have. My
Yeah.
general take, and I sent you this message, is I think it's like Shadow of the Colossus and Haven and the Pathless, all somehow the 3 of them together made a baby, and it's Solar Ash. That's kind of the vibes that I get from this game. But what do you think about it so far? I like it.
Yeah, that's exactly the description I would use for it. So I just finished my third boss. I make sure to 100% the area where like I do all the. There's like a couple side missions you can run into. You can run into a stranger or something, and he'll tell you a story, and then you can find more chapters of that story as you explore. So that's optional, but there's optional suits you can find too to change suits. So I make sure to do all that stuff before I move on to the next area. But yeah, the big bosses that you fight are basically like Colossus type figures
Yep.
that you grapple to from a distance, and the traversal is basically part of the, like, it's essential that you skate because that's the way you travel in the game. It's essential that you skate while you do combat. Like, traversal is the priority, and then combat is like secondary to that.
Yep.
So when you're on these big Colossus things, you're basically skating and jumping and slashing certain checkpoints to get into the final checkpoint where you hit them in a like a crucial, whatever you want to call it, death blow. And you have to do it like 3 times or 4. I don't know. It depends on the difficulty.
Does the overall theme of stabbing eyeballs continue? Because so far the first area, I stabbed a lot of eyeballs to make things happen.
Yeah.
Is that still okay?
The eyeballs belong to the Colossus feet, whatever you call them, the Colossus beings, the colossal beings,
the remnants.
Colossi?
Yes. So their eyes are like spread out on the city, and each time you stab them, it moves the eye back to the being, basically.
Yeah, so if you have an issue with eyes being stabbed, it's probably not the game for
there's
you.
a lot of stabbing eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
There is actually a lot of they're dumping a lot of lore on you, and I'm totally lost. I'm gonna have to probably read a wiki on it or something. But apparently, this takes place in a distant future, a different universe or whatever, where this group of people developed a technology to be able to travel through black holes. But black holes are still devastating to planets. They can still, swallow them like they do. And the person that you're playing is trying to save her planet from being swallowed up by a black hole.
Yeah, they're trying to essentially turn the black hole off, like trying to render it inert is what they're trying to do.
Sounds impossible, but
exactly. But that's I guess the main goal of what you're trying to do. And the remnants, I'm still kind of shaky on how they exist. Like,
are they providing energy?
Are they echoes or memories on this planet that you're on or something? Or
could be.
Is the black hole causing all of these things to appear?
Yep.
That didn't used to be there. It's like there's some people that you run into, their memory is totally shot, not what it used to be. And the suggestion is like the void is causing that. There's story-wise, I'm still really shaky on it, but gameplay-wise, I can't put it down. And it's a short one too, so like 3 bosses down, I have 3 to go.
Oh, okay.
And I think total it would be like 7-8 hour experience.
That's why I think the comparison to Pathless is really apt, because that's also a shorter game. It's got a handful of bosses. It's got interesting visuals, lots of that kind of sliding slash gliding around.
It's all about momentum.
The difference is this one's very melee, where you are trying to, like you said, grapple to a spot and do a lot of melee. And I don't know if you unlock distance weapons of any kind in this game or not.
I haven't yet. I don't know.
Pathless, it's all about your bow and arrow. So that's the difference. Is Pathless, you're sliding around and shooting with bow and arrow, and in this one, you're sliding around and smacking things with your weapon. So
and the enemies slightly change each area you unlock. Like the 3rd area unlocks these things these little enemies on the wall that can like pretty much like hone in on you. Like what do you call it? Dang, man, I'm not really good with words right now. I'm still sick, so lay off me. But
where are your words at, bro?
And you can follow their trajectory right before they snipe you, so you can just boost out of the way really quickly. But you do have to go up on the wall where they are and slash them off. And sometimes they appear in places where loot is, and you're like, okay, well, crap, I really got to get in there. That's another thing that the game is great about. It's good to explore too. Like, you can find a lot of loot in the in-game currency that buys you repairs for your shield and stuff.
I was gonna say, is there like upgrades and stuff? Or?
Yeah, that's the only upgrade really. It's kind of a small, so there's not a whole lot of upgrades. I don't know if people are familiar. This is the Hyper Light Drifter developer.
Right.
This game's totally different from that. So
it is. There's some similarities in some of the art styles, some of the design, but otherwise
it's like a 3D version, like as opposed to pixelated.
A little bit, but
aesthetically,
it's definitely a different vibe in that game. But cool. I like it too. I'm glad to hear that it's good after that first area, which I thought was pretty fun. I'm just now starting the second area, so that's good.
And the areas are all distinct, and I think that the level design is actually pretty cool. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Kyle, I know you did some traveling over the holidays. We missed you last week. I want to hear a little bit about your Pokemon as well as your Shin Megami Tensei V experiences.
Well, I beat Pokemon, so whatever, and graduated to like what I like to call adult Pokemon, which is Shin Megami Tensei V.
Adult Pokemon. Very
yeah,
adult.
it's really
That's
good.
that's
Like,
Pokemon without their tops on. Is that what that is?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's a Pokemon, and like there's like naked demon girls and like imps
Pokemon
with
After
giant like
Hours.
demon,
Pokemon
penises.
After Hours.
Pokemon After Hours, yeah. I really like Shin Megami. I think this is the game I'm gonna like pour a lot of time into. I think it's really great. I think the turn based. I mean, it's the same classic like rock paper scissors turn based in terms of like it's, and Pokemon's kind of similar in that way as well, where obviously different enemies are
Vulnerable.
susceptible to certain attacks, and if you exploit those attacks, you get more turns, so that's classic Persona, combat. It's classic Shin Megami Tensei combat. It's just really awesome. And I think the story is really good, and it's fully voice acted in English, and the English voice acting is really good. The graphics are awesome in this game. The art design's really good in this game. I think that it's super hard. It makes no apologies for like how hard it is. So it's like I don't know. It's something that I don't see like Nintendo making a lot of games of, and they're just like, yeah, we'll produce this game that's like completely alienating to all people who are not hardcore like turn-based like fighter. Turn-based combat games.
They're not
or
scared of that,
whatever.
man. They do that with Fire Emblem. Even
It's
Metroid
true.
Dread
No, you're
was
right.
a
Because
little
Fire
bit.
Emblem's pretty hard. You're right about that, and that's actually a first-party game, not just a game that they were like, hey, be our, being inclusive for a little bit.
Yep.
But like, it's super awesome. Like, if y'all have any interest in this type of stuff, like it's worth taking a look at. And the music's really good. I'm just having a great time with it. I'm like
So if
6
this
or
one
7
wins
hours
Best
in right now.
RPG, you're saying deserves it, even with the
If
other
it
ones
does,
that
I
are-
didn't vote
yeah.
for it. I would, but like if it won, it's because it is, And
Deserves
like
it.
I'll tell you, like, and I've been enjoying Tales a lot, but like this is a little more my speed in terms
It's more
of
up your
like,
alley. That makes sense.
themes and stuff like that, the demons and the angels and stuff like that. It's very, very cool.
Nice. Is Crash Bandicoot in this game?
He is, yeah. He comes in and he helps you, exonerate demons. So
Okay,
that's good
cool.
stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
That's all I
Spyro
need.
shows up also, right?
Spyro.
Nope. Spyro doesn't. No, we
Oh,
cut.
that's
That's the line.
He was in
Nope.
4.
That's,
He
that's
was
the
in.
line.
Yeah, no. You only get one mascot per game. So
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in 4. Derek, anything that you're gaming these days?
Still playing Deathloop like all the time. That's my main game. As far as some smaller games that I'm trying to get through before Infinite drops, I'm trying to beat Call of Duty Cold War's campaign. And then I'll move to Vanguard because I was one of the few idiots that bought Vanguard apparently.
I have it
And
too.
and
We're
then
idiots.
yes, apparently. And then I'm finishing up Halo Reach. So
Okay, cool. Nice.
and of course Forza Horizon 5.
Have you tried out? I haven't heard your thoughts on the Infinite multiplayer stuff yet. Have you tried much of that yet?
I've only played a few matches. I absolutely loved it. Like it was real high quality. Like just even looking at the game and playing a multiplayer game that looks this good, and I'm going, oh gosh, I'm gonna be so excited when I see the campaign. Like because even though it's gonna be open world, I still think it'll have maybe a little bit more level of detail. They usually can do more detail in a campaign than they can in multiplayer. But the game looks so good multiplayer. It's smooth. It actually, I think the reason, and not just me, I think there's a lot of people that are starting to jump on the bandwagon of like, Microsoft makes good games. I see the turn, like, no disrespect, and I know you guys are big fans of Horizon 5, but in my opinion, Horizon 5 is no better than any of the previous Horizon games. Like, they've been putting out this type of quality for a while in
They
that
have.
game. Yet
Yeah.
all of a sudden people are not just on this podcast but everywhere and Unlocked. I had to leave that group because I was like, please shut the hell up, you guys are annoying. But they're just like, I can't believe Forza Horizon 5 is not up for Game of the Year. Well, why weren't you whining about this for Horizon 4? And I think the big turn is you have more people getting and jumping on Xbox because of Game Pass Ultimate and things like that.
Yeah,
And now
that's true.
now they're all of a sudden these are great games. But the reason I brought that up is Halo Infinite, it gives me that nostalgic feeling for the very first Halo.
Yeah.
Yet, it's not like they just went back to the very first Halo and went, we're just going to make it over again. I think they went back to the very first Halo and said, what made this game special? Let's take that and now let's make it modern. And I feel like they've nailed it. Like gameplay, visually, musically, like I was just the other day, I just went on YouTube and put Halo Infinite, and I put soundtrack.
I
And
shared
they
it to
have,
the group, earlier this week. I was like, hey
so
guys, work tunes.
yeah,
Good
and
stuff.
I
The
just
music's so great.
just as soon as I start hearing the music, it just takes me. I have no problem admitting it's nostalgia.
One of the more underappreciated soundtracks. I agree with you there. The Halo music is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really
100%.
excited. So no, I haven't played the multiplayer a lot, but the little bit I played, I actually wanted to play with other people. Like I don't.
Oh, he died.
Uh-oh.
R.I.P.
Uh,
He said it. He set a time limit.
Oh, there he
you
is.
are.
He's
You're
back.
back.
Time limit.
Okay, that was it.
Oh. Well,
You-
you
you
cut off
froze
at a
up.
certain point.
You froze
Okay,
up.
real quick before we talk about a few other games. Hype check for Halo Infinite campaign. Is this like as soon as it's available, I'm starting it and not playing anything else till it's done? This is for all of you. Like, so Derek, you too, of course. Or is it I'm gonna have it downloaded? This is me. Have it downloaded and I can't wait to play it as soon as I kind of wrap up whatever current campaign I'm active in. Or are you pausing everything and Halo campaign? What are you guys doing?
I mean, the plan for me is to jump in right away, but there is going to be the issue with Deathloop is apparently Deathloop's like a 12 to 13 hour campaign, yet I know I'm over 20 plus hours, and I don't even know. I know I'm advancing the story, but I don't know how close I am to the end.
Right.
Because you kill the same bosses over and over because you're looping. So I don't know, like I'm progressing and getting more data, but I don't know if I'm going to finish the game anytime soon. So I don't want to abandon ship on that one. I don't feel the need when I play Deathloop to be like, I have to beat this game, especially since I heard the ending's kind of a disappointment. I'm not playing it for the narrative. I'm playing it because I enjoy every loop. I love going in there and just strategy of killing whatever boss I want to kill, or if I'm just looking to upgrade my character. So I don't want to abandon Deathloop, but Halo Infinite is the game I really do expect will be my game of the year. So as soon as it releases, I already took the 8th, 9th, and 10th off work. I'm jumping
Nice. That's awesome. Dan or Kyle or Jeff, any of you jumping right into that as soon as it's out? Or are you gonna?
I'll jump right in. If it catches me, I'll play it until I finish it. If
go.
I just feel like, this is great, I'll just play it whenever I want to. You know? So we'll see how I ride the wave.
Dan, you gonna jump in? Or you gonna wait till you play the other Halo games?
Yeah, I like to play. I want to get from beginning to end or to current when this one
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
out.
So why didn't?
So you're not going to have any point of view on this game this year. Is what you're trying
No.
to say to us right now. Okay.
I played the multiplayer. It's fun.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever.
Jeff, what about you?
I'm so sorry for offending you.
Slacker.
Master
Yeah, that
Chief
really
over here.
Biased slacker.
Master Chief over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to prioritize it. I feel like I'm gonna beat Solar Ash this weekend because it's not that long.
Jeez.
That's the only game that was kind of in my way, but I do want to beat Psychonauts 2 eventually.
That's a long
Yeah,
game.
I really don't think
I'm
campaign's
hearing
gonna be
nothing
that
but
long,
dirty
time
stuff
consuming.
out of Jeff's mouth right now.
Dirty stuff. He's hearing dirty
Beat
stuff.
it. It's not that long. And when he said Psychonauts 2, I thought he said Suckin' Nuts 2. I was like, wow, he's
Suckin'
doing a
Nuts.
lot of dirty stuff.
Yeah, that's a reach. That's a reach.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
are
I
playing a game of
heard.
reach, sure, because that is a reach and a
Suckin' Nuts
half.
2.
Well, let me.
Jeff's
Yeah,
sick.
I
Jeff's
don't think the campaign's gonna be that time consuming. I mean, they never really are. I mean, unless this one is suddenly now it's like a 30-hour campaign. I just don't see that
Which one?
happening.
Halo?
Halo Infinite, yeah.
I actually think it is. I think it's gonna probably be if you just do straightforward, like only follow the mission points. I think it will probably be your normal Halo campaign length. But I think by the videos I've watched, it's pretty much full on playground. So just go from one area, knocking out bosses, and everybody's saying how fun it is. It could be a long 20 to 40 hour.
I was gonna say I think it's gonna be easy to spend over 20 in this campaign. We'll find out though, I guess.
Yeah.
Or infinite hours.
I plan on firing it
Oh
up because I
my
want to be able to
God.
have impressions of it. But I might start it up, and as real story stuff starts to unfold, I'll probably stop and go back and replay 4 and 5 and this. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing because I played 1 through 3 and never finished 4. I need to go back and do those. So
I'm telling you,
that's
Halo Reach is gold.
Just
I
read
need
the
to play that
wiki.
Reach is awesome. Yeah.
I need to play
Halo
that too.
Reach
I need to play
is
that
so good.
Hey guys,
So great.
Derek brought up Forza, so I have 2 quick questions for you and one reminder. So the question, Derek, I feel like I've maxed out Forza Horizon 5 to the point now where it's just like, hey, as new challenges unlock and there's new cars, I might jump back in and play. But I've kind of explored every corner of that. If I go back and really truly dive into 4, did 5 have a whole bunch of changes that I'll be like, oh, 4 just doesn't do it for me anymore. I can't remember the differences. I played 4 for probably
I haven't
5
played
hours.
5 and gone, wow, this is such a step up from 4. Like, all it feels like to me is that it's just in a different location and more detailed and has more power because it's Series X.
Yeah.
But when you play 4 on PC or even on your Series X now, if you have a Series X or Series S,
It looks amazing. I know
it's going
that.
to look and feel just like 5. That's why I said I don't understand.
Well, something about the adventure and the exploration in 5
So,
hooked me more than 4. I don't know
I
what
was-
it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I was just playing 4, but I had told you guys I downloaded 4, and then I did go right into 5. So yeah, it doesn't feel super different to me at all. But I
It doesn't
definitely like
feel
the
different.
environment of 5, the kind of vibrant,
Yeah,
like kind of
maybe it is just
tropical
the
area.
location.
but-
Don't forget, guys, Playground Games, the developers of all the Forza Horizon games, they're making Fable. So they know how to make
yes.
an adventure game where exploration is key and advancement is fun. Like, it's going to be interesting to see them do a non-Forza Horizon game. I'm excited for whatever they end up doing.
And they absolutely should
really
have been nominated
good-
for Game of the Year this year. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Forza 4
I
came out in
I
2018,
disagree.
stood no shot at Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Absolutely no
2018 was
shot.
too
This year
stacked.
they stood a shot.
Yeah, 2018 was too stacked. But anyway,
But I don't think that's the reason people are crying for it now. It's not. 2018 was stacked. It's nobody
right.
was talking about 4 except Xbox gamers, which that wasn't allowed. They were a minority. Now everybody's talking about it because it's bigger. And I tried to say this in Unlocked, and I got a bunch of people like, "You're not even making sense." I was like, "No, you're just stupid. You're a sheep. You're a moron. So shut up."
Yeah.
It's true.
And I'll
4
take
is-
the other foot. Welcome all new Forza fans. The game's good, and I'm glad y'all are enjoying it.
there you go.
Thank you,
See?
Kyle. I appreciate
Now-
it.
now I hate
Who cares that
positive
it's like
Kyle.
more popular now? Like it's a good
Now
game.
you hate positive Kyle?
It's a good. No, not at all. I'm saying positive things. I'm like it's a good game, and people
No,
deserve
I
to.
hate you right now.
enjoy
and
it.
your positivity.
No, you don't.
I mean,
Kyle,
Forza 4
I
was in
love
my 10 that year. I don't know.
Same here. Every
Even though
Forza
2018 was
Horizon has
busy, it
been
was
in
in
my
my 10
top
that
10
year.
list since those games have been coming out because they are that good and they've always
I'm
been
very
that
excited
good.
to see what they do with the DLC because all their DLC is great for these games.
It's
So
great. Yeah,
look
that's
forward
gonna be
to see what
awesome.
they do.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not hating on people jumping on liking 5. I'm hating on you're acting like 5 is leaps and bounds better than 4. It's not.
Yeah,
You
that's
are
fair.
just playing it. That's it.
I mean,
You
4
never
sold
played
12 million
4. Go
copies.
play
It was
4.
it was a super popular game. 12
Go
million.
play 4.
That's a lot of
4
units
is
for a
amazing.
racing game.
Dan, what are you playing?
Just chunky, deep in that chunky slice of Skyrim, just like last week. So
Sometimes it's fun just to like
just all up
stay
in there.
in the old nostalgic game for a while. I don't blame you for that whatsoever,
Yeah,
man.
I became a werewolf, so now I'm a furry. I'm a furry, just like Gaston.
And a lot of guests on for this episode, maybe too much.
Can you
I-
cut him out, please. Cut him out.
I just confronted some vampires, so I'm gonna do the old werewolves versus. I'm gonna do the Twilight story. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Twilight.
Cool.
Anything
So-
involving vampires and werewolves needs to have Kate Beckinsale, or I'm not going to participate.
Oh no, absolutely.
I think that's a good stipulation. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a must. Absolutely. For sure. Definitely.
I am, as Jeff would say, diddling a couple different little games here and there. I have to mention, in my background, it really is a joke because this game really did come out on Xbox Series S and X and PC on Game Pass. I saw this game came out on Steam and I kind of chuckled at it, like, "Oh man, they'll make a simulator for everything."
And then it was on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. So I downloaded it and played it, and basically, you are starting your own lawn service and you're growing your lawn company. So you hire, like, it really is a
Sweet.
game. You hire employees, you buy more gear, you buy more bays to buy more lawnmowers.
Sounds like a job to me.
Dude, it is very much work. And when you go to mow the lawns, it's not like it speeds it up for you. Like, you're going slow. You can get fined for going over their flowers. Like,
Oh, for Christ's sake!
it's
Wow.
it's a simulator.
It's a
game.
simulator. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a simulator.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
It's funny though. Like, I let the kids try. We were trying the cloud version of this with my kids to let them drive around, and of course they thought it was hilarious to crash into everything and go over the gardens and wreck everything and see all the little
Sure.
warnings come up like you're gonna get fined, and they're like, ha ha. So whatever.
Not real
Um,
money.
But if you're into that kind of thing, that's what that game is. Evil Genius 2 World Domination is, the way I'll describe it is, it's like 2 Point Hospital, but you are either a villain in The Incredibles or maybe you're Gru from Despicable Me. Like, it's that type of a vibe in terms of like being a villain or a, the bad guy in a story. It's very lighthearted bad guy, kind of that noir style too. But yeah, I think it's very much like 2 Point Hospital. The characters and art design remind me of it a lot. The way that you build your rooms and then you set items down and you have requirements to keep your staff, or in this case your minions, happy, reminds me a lot of 2 Point Hospital. So
it's
if
not
you like
the same
those kind
developer, is it?
I don't think so,
Okay.
but I do think if you like that game and that kind of kind of base building, or it's not a city building, but that base building type of a game, then it's worth a shot. Plus it's free on Game Pass at least. And I think it is on other consoles too, although PC is the way to go. I do like the cover operation element where you are running a casino on the front end where agents will come in and investigate, and you have different options to send your minions out to either capture, distract, or kill them.
Yeah.
So anyway, and it's called World Domination because you have a world map where you are sending your minions out, and you train them up in different specialties, and you send them out throughout the world to set up criminal networks and start stealing money from different places. And then if you do too much, you raise your heat too much, and then the heroes will come in. So anyway, if you like that kind of stuff, that's exactly what that game is. And then thanks to Arcane, which, by the way, I think is one of the best things Netflix has put out in a while. And they put out a lot of really good content. I just personally, that show really hit for me. I love Arcane.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked at how much I enjoy anything attached to League of Legends. I shouldn't like anything that's connected to League of Legends at all. So we talked about this last. Like, what is there anything else in this world? I want to experience more of this. Is there a game? Is there something else? So I just realized that Ruined King, a League of Legends story, actually just came out. It's an RPG that's been in the works for a little while. So I grabbed that on Switch. It's $30 on all platforms, and I'm playing that. I would describe it as, when you're exploring, it reminds me of Divinity Original Sin. Like, that's kind of the vibe as you're walking around talking to characters and, opening barrels and just getting all kinds of items. It's a little bit like that, not nearly as deep RPG level. Don't get me wrong. So don't expect that, but it still has that kind of vibe. And then the combat reminds me a lot of Battle Chasers Night War, which a lot of you probably don't know about, but Final Fantasy X, it's a little bit like that, where you've got like the order of attacks coming up and kind of playing accordingly. But they have a really cool battle system I wanted to highlight real quick. It's these 3 lanes at the bottom. And so for your normal instant attacks, you don't use the lanes at all. You just pick your instant attack and do it. And then for your lane attacks or your special attacks, those cost you mana. And so you can use one of 3 lanes: speed, balanced, or power. And it's exactly what you expect. If you do speed, either the healing or the attack is lowered, but you'll attack quicker. You can move up the order a little bit. Or balanced is right where it normally would be. And power is you charge up a little longer, but your healing is better or your attack is better. They have all kinds of ways to kind of reposition where your attack's going to fall in the lane based on height. So there's some cool strategy stuff in it. I really like the combat a lot. And the ability points in this game are like equipable items instead of ability points, because you just assign them or you turn them back off and assign them to somebody else or somewhere else. So the way you upgrade moves is not like there is a bit of a skill tree element, but you're like equipping an ability point on that to activate it, and then you can deactivate it and put it somewhere else.
Kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy IX a little bit.
That's a little more like 9.
You know what other game has that? Avengers.
Oh yes.
Stop it, Jeff.
That excellent Marvel game.
They really do have that.
Right now.
Do they? Because honestly, I don't even remember.
The last thing I'll say about it is I do like where you're exploring and you see an enemy, and before you go into the battle screen, it's a turn-based battle system, so it'll take you into your separate battle screen. And before that, it's a little bit got that Mario RPG vibe of where if you can sneak attack them or jump on their heads in Mario RPG, you can do some damage. In this, you have each character that you control has a different, what they call dungeon attack. So one character can shoot, another one has this giant tentacle attack they can slam down. And if you hit them ahead of time, then now you've got some kind of advantage. Either you did damage to them or you stunned them for a turn or something. So I like that. When the exploration world, you can give yourself a little advantage before you get into the battle. But
I appreciate that. I
like this game a lot. It's not like a 10 out of 10 instant classic, but it's a game that, with all the games out there, especially kind of these types of RPG turn-based games, this one I think is standing out a little bit. It's very piratey, so it's the pirate vibe. Like that's the kind of the story theme and the setting and the characters.
I like the samurai. He looks cool.
Yeah, I want to play as him.
Yeah, I haven't played
I'm-
as him yet, but I'm pretty early on. Still, I'm
Definitely
like,
cool looking characters in this universe for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
going to buy it. I'm just gonna wait. I was kind of hoping when it released that it was a $20 game because I think,
Yeah.
well, maybe Battle Chasers was more expensive.
It
may have
was. It was 40 when it came out.
but now
Battle
it's
Yeah, it
Chasers,
was
cheap,
more
right? You can get Battle Chasers for super cheap all the time. So
Well, it
yeah.
was just on sale last week for $7.50,
There you
and
go.
Battle Chasers is worth owning.
It's
If you're
fun,
into
yeah.
this game.
So I do recommend this one, especially if you're kind of riding that high off of Arcane and you want to experience more of these spin-off League of Legends stories. They've got more coming out. The people who made that game Rhyme are making a game from some League of Legend champion. It's kind of a 3D open world adventure game. Looks a little less actiony, a little more adventure, like exploration-y. There's a side-scrolling action game starring Echo, who's the main character in
Arcane, yeah.
in Arcane as well.
Okay.
So they've got some stuff that they're putting together. It's kind of cool that they're doing.
Arcane was really good. I don't watch shows. I barely watch movies. Shout out to Dune. I made it an hour into that trash crap movie.
Oh jeez.
One of the
Alright.
best movies of the year. You're
Don't do that.
uncultured.
Yeah.
You uncultured swine.
Uncultured,
you-
intolerant,
Watched
ignorant,
you must have binged Arcane, right?
b-hole of a person.
Yeah, I watched it in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I'm
so-
actually surprised you watched that because normally this like animated stuff's not your thing so much. So
Well, I'm working from home now, so it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot easier.
Yeah, this
But
show
yeah, it was really good.
Show's great. That show's amazing. All right, I know I talked a lot. There's a couple things that I'm planning bouncing around between games a little bit. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we wrap up with stuff like Arcane that we're watching? Any other games you're playing you want to highlight?
I want to shout out, for some reason, I want to shout out Last Stop. I mentioned it last week. This is just a follow-up because I did beat it. It's not that long. The 3 characters that you play as, and you play separate chapters for each one, they do converge, and the final chapter is actually really good. So there's that.
so it made
Yeah.
sense at the end.
Yeah, it did. I was like, oh, this actually really came together really, really nicely. That was
That'd
really
be
fun.
hilarious if they never connected them and it's just 3 different stories.
Yeah, it's just 3 different, and one of them is like a totally normal person that works,
Yeah.
who's a spy, and you're like,
It's
"What the hell
lawnmower
is that
simulator
about?"
for one of them.
Yeah.
They just mow lawns.
But yeah, it's actually, I mean, if you're into, it's because it's story focused. The gameplay is almost nothing. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, there's some stuff you do, but it's just very minimal. I'm not going to
Yeah.
gush about that, but the story is very interesting and worth checking out on Game Pass at least. So,
Well, speaking
That's
of story, I do think that Arcane, a League of Legends story, I can't even say it, that show on
Legends.
Netflix, despite the fact that
Lol.
it's got an Imagine Dragons opening song, which
Ugh.
Ooh.
is kind of like the go-to for
Ugh.
some reason these
God.
days.
shout out to Hawkeye.
I like
Not
Imagine
Imagine
Dragons,
Dragons.
but
Of
that
course
is
you
a
do.
terrible.
Yeah,
song.
none
See,
of this
I
surprises
don't
me.
like Imagine Dragons, and I don't like that song. I just
No,
don't think it fits the
that's
vibe
song-
of the show. You know what I mean?
No.
It doesn't. That's my issue with it.
Yeah.
Like his you're my enemy. I'm like, what?
No, no.
Get the fuck
yeah.
out of here, man.
Yeah.
This should have been a more emotional song, I feel.
Like there's
more
some
of a-
excellent
it's-
music in the show.
Yeah,
What-
it's already got a good score
Yeah,
going
no,
in
it
the whole
actually does
show.
have good music. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's
Just
too
use the
bad?
orchestral score and
A lot
Yeah.
of people, myself included, are going to skip the intro because the music is not the best, and they'll hit skip intro a lot. But the visuals on the intro are actually really cool. So if they had
Yeah,
left
Those are
it
so cool, man.
just
Yeah.
they had left it at just an instrumental, just use the score from the show.
Now-
Anyway,
My thought process on it was, as somebody who used to watch Netflix shows, is they usually do, if you start the intro to Arcane, like the very beginning is actually like how they start most of Netflix shows, where it's like
Mhm.
this pan image and then it's like soft music and then that's when the song kicks in.
Yeah.
So I do think they were actually doing it to be different because they're like, we always do like the emotional orchestra song with like
Yeah.
these images of the show or whatever. I just feel like this song, and again, not a hater. I don't
You should
listen
be.
to their albums, but I like some of their songs. No, they're
You
good.
You should be a hater.
hey, listen,
Okay.
when they first came out, that big Revolution song, that was actually kind of catchy and a little bit different, and everyone used it all the time for all kinds of stuff.
Well,
kinds
their
of hype
problem is
videos
they
and
keep
stuff.
copying, pasting their own stuff. They're like,
And
hey,
now
that worked.
they've
Let's
become the
rewrite
Nickelback
the
of
song."
pop rock.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
let's just
That's
run
why
another-
people fell out of or even mild acquaintancing of
Right.
Nickelback is because they just kept repeating their own shtick, and you're like, come on, guys, evolve, guys, come on.
Agreed. But this show is amazing. It's if you're wondering what it is, it's basically I'm not going to give any of the story points away. It's worth watching because the character development is amazing. Even these side characters
Yes.
that in the first few episodes you're like, that's interesting that they've got why are they showing this person to me? Well, that's because later in the show they're actually going to have even an intro where it really digs into their history, and you're going to care about this character by the end, even though maybe in the first half of it they've only been on there a little bit. So they do a great job with characters, really great job with characters. The story is fascinating, and I think the visuals, you guys talked about this already, are absolutely mind blowing. The animation is amazing, and you could see that a lot of love and care was put into the detail. Like there's a particular, and there's a bunch of fight scenes and epic moments that are great, but I think my favorite might have been, and I won't say who it's between. There's a bar fight in the I think it's the second to last episode.
It's the last one. It's the last one.
I think it's last episode. Okay, last episode.
Yeah, last one.
And it's not like it's the final conflict, but it's one of them. And boy, is it so well done. Like personality-wise, it's got a combination of fun but also serious.
It's like it's a western. It's like a western type vibe too.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's really great. And
they're doing like a standoff, almost like a western duel, basically with their melee weapons. And it's
the overall vibe of it is very similar. If you've played a lot of like, especially Final Fantasy games, like you've got like the upper class up here and the lower class and the Undercity.
It's not like the story is anything like like unique and like, oh my god, I've never seen this before, but it's just it's really well done. Like it's just all high quality.
Yeah, you can be derivative all you want. You just got to do it well.
Also, they hint at a massive world, which is why I started going like, well, what are the League of Legends characters? So I looked up all the champions, and this is literally just you like to say chunky slice. This is actually a quick, pretty thin slice of the overall lore in League of Legends.
Over 100 characters.
Yeah, there's 150, and they all have their
every
own
one of them has their stories, and apparently that's what kind of sets League of Legends apart, is that they actually have good stories and good backgrounds and good lore.
Yep.
So.
And I hear that, but it goes one ear, not the other, because it's still League of Legends. Like it's like
League of Legends. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So of course, when I watch Arcane, I'm like, how is this good? And everybody's like, well, you know the lore, and I'm like, but the game.
But listen, I went down the rabbit hole, man. If you go to their website and if you ignore the stuff about the game, forget about the MOBA or whatever kind. Is it MOBA?
You don't need to. It's a MOBA.
It's a MOBA.
Okay, so forget about the game itself, and it'll still advertise to you. Play now, play on the phone, whatever else. Ignore that stuff, and just read on their site. Like they not only have amazing artwork. Like if you just look at their champions list, their artwork and their alternate outfits are just. It's like, dude, they hired legit artists and background story writers on all this stuff.
Yeah.
They also have a ton of comic book stuff, some backgrounds. Like they have all kinds of stuff, and now they're actually turning it into, as you can see with the show, a really deep dive on a TV show and some really interesting games. Like the Ruined King game takes a few different champions that are in League of Legends, and they've grouped them together, just like they did with Arcane. They took some champions and mixed them together into their backstory.
League of Legends has always been popular. It's always been one of those things where like I hear the name and I ignore it.
Same.
Like, it has no impact on my life.
Same.
But now that I've watched this show, and I've watched a lot of reviews on Ruined King, and even that, one of the reasons why that Ruined King is reviewing well, it's like over 80, is they're like, it plays fine, it's got some cool strategy, it's turn-based RPG, which isn't my thing anymore, but they're like, it's the story, it's the characters, it's good. And so I'm like, ooh, I want to buy Ruined King, just even if I don't beat it, just to support this, what League of Legends is now doing, or Riot Games is now doing. That's going, hey, MOBA's gonna be popular. That's not gonna change. But now let's start taking our characters and let's start putting them in RPGs. Maybe they'll do an action adventure game.
Dude.
Who knows? Maybe they'll do a story-driven first-person shooter. Like if they can start branching out and going, okay, we have this universe that we can just dive into and tell different stories. I'm on board.
I mean, don't forget they did Valorant as well. So they do a lot of the online.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if they take like the visuals of this show and gave me like a 7 remake or like Tales of Arise, like that kind of action RPG, like that would be sick, dude.
Absolutely.
I mean, I made a post saying that I want Arcane Studios to make an Arcane game. Like, I think they should. I think they could.
Sure.
They make smart games, and they
like
make
a sneaking around character. Like, if there's some kind of like stealthy character in their universe, like that would be actually a.
They have tons. Dude. They got all kinds of assassin characters and stealthy. Yeah. I did see a lot of people saying, hey, now that this show is making everyone interested, and the new game's making everyone interested in the original game, most advice is don't go play the original one. Maybe try the mobile version if you're really interested. It trims down the list of champions to 50 something, and apparently it's a lot more starter friendly. So if you're really interested, you could try that. They do have a couple of other mobile games like Hextech Mayhem, which features the little mustachioed fella from the show.
Hagen something.
Heimerdinger.
The little
Heimerdinger. Yeah.
Heimerdinger's in that.
The fluffy little guy.
Yeah, Convergence is going to be the Echo side-scrolling action game. They've got Legends of Runeterra, so if you liked Hearthstone, it's kind of a battling card game. It's a card collection game that's set in this world as well. And then Song of Nunu. Kind of reminds me of that movie Abominable, because you've got a little kid, and I guess they're a champion too. It's a little kid with his giant abominable snowman-looking beast friend. So it's the two of them together.
Oh, like Rocket and Groot. That's great. That's cute.
Yeah, or like Kate
Adorable.
Sif, speaking of Final Fantasy.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, so Arcane, of course, is amazing. Anything else you guys are watching you want to highlight?
I just wanted to second your Encanto opinion. It's great. It's one of the funniest Disney animated movies in a long time, maybe since Zootopia for me.
Is that only in theaters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is the new frontrunner for like best animated movie at the Oscars and stuff now too. So it's that good. It's really good, and the music's fantastic.
You know, the main girl, she was the grumpy
cop from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah. Rosa.
You wouldn't guess
Rosa.
that. She's a great singer. Yeah.
She's a good singer. She's also like, her character is very light, like very
Yeah.
filled with life and like bubbly and stuff, and that is not her.
Yeah, Rosa is not bubbly.
I'm not that it's her voice at all. Yeah, she sounds so different.
I didn't know she could sing too. That's crazy. Yeah.
John Leguizamo does a voice in it. There's some good actors in there.
I don't think you can get a regular acting job if you can't sing. Like nowadays, you have to be able to do
Yeah,
it.
you might be right.
Yeah.
Except for Willem Dafoe, he can do whatever he wants, even if he doesn't sing. And I assume he's got the voice of an angel.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Yeah, Encanto is pretty fantastic. Without spoiling anything, because I know that it's still going on right now. How's Hawkeye overall?
It's enjoyable.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
The first 2 episodes for me were a little shaky. I just don't care about the family drama stuff, and they focused a lot on Kate Bishop's family drama, and I get that because she's new.
Yeah.
But the 3rd episode really hit a groove that I'm like, please stay here. Please stay in this groove. The 3rd episode is just fantastic. It's got
There's a chase sequence in the 3rd episode that's like shot so well.
Oh, okay.
It's done really well. Reminds me of a Children of Men scene, you know.
Oh yeah, wow. The camera's like spinning around and they're doing stuff
inside of a car, and it's just awesome.
You know, I think Jeremy Renner is a great actor, but as Hawkeye, he's always been a little bit dull for me personally. Like not bad, but never like I never thought like there's a leading man. Can't wait for his movie. Yeah. How is he as the lead in the show?
I think he's like effortlessly funny, and they're adding a lot of heart to it. Where it's like, hey, don't forget to feel, like laugh, but also feel. Like, So there's a lot of stuff with his family that like resonates pretty good, and.
I think it's more.
He's going through some like body breakdown issues post being in all these fights and stuff like that. That really humanizes his already human character.
I mean, he went through a lot after Infinity War, so
yeah.
And then obviously Endgame, everything was
Yes, he did.
And
Derek, you're watching it too?
Things are gonna start getting really personal once a certain assassin starts coming after him. So,
Derek, you're watching it too?
No, I was just saying because you were saying, you know, Jeremy Renner or something. I was like, I don't think it's really Jeremy Renner as much as it's just Hawkeye, the character in general.
Right. Yeah. So far,
He's
been
kind
a
of
little bit second fiddle. Still cool. Still very cool.
That's why I liked Age of Ultron, because they even made jokes about that. Like,
pretending
to need him is really lift up the team or whatever. Like, it's just there's jokes like that about him, his work, stuff.
True. It's true. I will get to that one, but that we've talked about this ad nauseum. I'll wait for a few more episodes to be ready before I dive into it.
It's a short one. You don't have to wait too much longer. So
yeah, three more weeks, and I think it's done.
Yeah, and then we get the book of Boba Fett starts after that.
So never heard of it.
Right after that. Yep.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Boba Tea? What? Boba Tea?
All right. Well, I think that does it. Unless there's anything else you guys want to throw out there.
Just real quick, I watched Dragon Ball Z again. Literally the first time since high school. It was really fun to watch it. It's definitely corny as hell, but it's still my favorite anime like ever. It's definitely it's aged well for me, but I understand why people don't like it. I get it.
It's aged well. People are wrong.
I think the Boo Saga doesn't get
definitely not the opinion I would go with.
It doesn't give the credit that it deserves. I think the Boo Saga is actually pretty great. It just starts off slow because you got that Saiyaman stuff going on, and then there's kind of like a tournament that starts, and it's slow, but like
Toriyama hates that saga, but like I think it's fun too.
I think it has the best animation. The animation is at its peak during the Buu saga.
Does it
Yeah,
have
I'm-
like a conclusion? Like, all right, this is
It's got a
over?
really definitive ending.
So, well, it's interesting. So I did start Super. Super takes place between actually the last few episodes of Z and the Buu.
So there's like like almost a 15-year time jump in the
It's like
last
10.
episode
I
of
think it's
Dragon Ball
10.
Z, or 10 or
Got it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this takes
Okay.
place during the time before the time jump.
Because I'm watching Super now, and I'm like, oh, so wait, because it's weird, like certain things that happen in Super, like as far as like transformations, and it's like, so is that like, because it's like they don't really show that at the end.
I wouldn't think about it too much.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, because they don't show it at the end of Z, so technically it could still work, but like
It could, yeah. You just see him fighting Oob
Yeah.
at the end. Like there's no transformations or anything. And like,
Um,
why would he have to if he's a god now? So
I just
there's
love
also
Kyle's
that.
advice, and that's true of like everything, like whether we're talking Star Wars or whatever. It's like just
Yeah, man.
Don't
Just
think
don't think
about
about
it
it too hard. Yeah. Well, how does it fit into that? It does just write it, man.
I will say with Super though, I am disappointed about the transformations. It's like, oh, so you changed the color palette? Cool. Like, come on. Like put
It's
a little more
newer
effort.
and
Put a little more
at
effort into it though.
At the beginning of Super, they like interns were doing a lot of the art because like they didn't have the funding to like actually hire
Okay.
real artists. So like it shakes off all that weird crap.
Well, that's what I
guess you
remember
could say.
hearing. Like literally, like like Kotaku articles being like, "What the hell is going on? Like, why does this look like this?" Like, so
It's
it definitely
pretty wild.
gets
It's
better.
it's pretty wild how bad it
you
looks.
heard it here
at the
first.
beginning.
Dan does not like transitions. That's what he just said.
What?
Yeah, hard pause. There was a hard pause there.
What?
Yeah,
I
you're
didn't
welcome.
even catch my own transition. That
You're
never-
welcome. I will thank you guys.
I want to throw. I rewatched Tenet, and I just want to throw that back in the public conscious as a really great movie by Christopher Nolan, because that movie came out and then nobody talks about it. The movie's great.
Yeah.
So
Everyone
yes.
slept on it. It's one of the greatest high concept sci-fi movies in recent years. It's so
It's because
so-
Twilight Boy
during
was in it, just like
so
people
out of
are
this
shitting
world.
on the Batman movie that's coming out because Twilight Boy is going to be Batman. It's like you guys need to let it go. Let it go.
Well, it's
Right.
more John David Washington's movie than his, but yes, he is in it.
Boy.
Good movie. I agree. There's
Talk about don't think about it.
it came out. Yeah, it came
Don't
out
think about it.
during.
Feel
came
it.
out
Yeah, your
during
brain will
COVID.
start hurting if you think about it too hard. So
Came out during the lockdown. It was kind of one of
It
the
did. It was a July release last year, which is
yeah.
bold to just hold the
So
studio to
bold.
that, Chris. All right, but
Yeah.
it was a great time.
I mean, it still made more money than Ridley Scott's movie. Am I right?
yeah, let's do it.
Hey, those damn millenniums, you know what I mean?
Those millenniums.
Those millenniums are the worst. All right, guys. Thank you all for listening. Next week we will do our reactions and talk about the games that won at the Game Awards, as well as hopefully have a chance to deep dive onto a spoiler-free talk about Halo Infinite's campaign. Can't wait to give that a shot. So, thank you guys for being here. It's awesome to have all 5 of us. Really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.
You know who else is going to be doing deep dive? Derek on Kyle.